Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
Fair enough. We're very happy to welcome you to the latest edition of the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. It's awful early as we check in here at 5:40. The Canadian wildfire smoke, or whatever that is in the air, has made the outdoors cubby smell like my parents' house in the early 1980s.
Yeah, it smells like maybe the oldest bar in your neighborhood. Mm-hmm. You kind of have to swim through it when you go from your car to the office.
So have fun choking on that all day, folks. Oh, what's going on? It's always fun. Or maybe I should say it's usually fun to begin our program with a text message from one of our gorgeous listeners. I just got one that goes like this here. Good morning, Nipple Hounds. Who's this guy calling a nipple hound?
Never heard that one.
He's talking to us.
I kind of like
Most of us.
Yeah, most of us, not all of us, because he says, good morning, Nipple Hounds and Ashley.
Oh, good morning.
Then he goes on to inform us that he needs to change his official Jesus handle. He will no longer be Pool Guy Jesus. He's changing his name, and this is allowed to change your Jesus name. He's changing it to Second Shift Welder Jesus, and he closes out his message by saying, keep on sniffing nips. Where's this guy come off calling us nipple sniffers?
I don't know if I've ever sniffed a nip in my life.
That's what I'm talking about. But yet he's coming off like this.
I'm trying to be fair just to think maybe if I ever did, maybe even on accident.
Maybe on accident. If you're just in that area, you probably have,
I do love that area.
I'm trying to be fair, he says. Maybe
before I get offended, I want to see if maybe he has a point.
Sure. Formerly Pool Guy Jesus, now officially Second Shift Welder Jesus. I got a question for you, pal. Maybe you're the one who sniffs nips. Do you ever think about that?
Maybe it wasn't an insult.
I don't know, dude.
Looking at this like an insult.
I don't know how to take it any other way when someone comes at me at 5:42 in the morning and accuses me of sniffing nipples.
Well, let's say we're sitting in probably some pretty terrible seats at a Vikings game.
Okay.
And somebody comes up and says, hey, fellow Vikings hounds. Maybe he's saying, we're all in on this together. We're all fans. We're all about to witness disappointment.
You always know how to look at the bright side, by God, you do.
I do my best.
Yeah, I like that.
You friggin' do. All right. Speaking of the terrific relationship that we have with most of our listening audience, it's that mutual love that inspires us to put together beer parties like the Independence Day boat party that we host every year. If you didn't already catch wind of this, our next boat ride is coming up June 27th. Riding up and down the St. Croix River, up and down. We board the boat in Stillwater. Did I say June 27th? Yes, I did.
Yep.
We board the boat in Stillwater, just like we've been doing for decades. Drink a little beer, have a few laughs. We'll probably hire a disc jockey to play some dance hits. She's from 7 to 10 p.m. on June 27th. You cannot buy your way onto this pig. The only way to get in on this goat rodeo or boat rodeo is to listen and win tickets. You see? That's how we get you. The only way to get on this friggin' boat party is to listen and win all day on 93X. just in case you missed the somewhat big announcement we made yesterday. There you go.
I'm a little nervous about this.
Tell me about the nerves.
Yeah, this will be your first time being pregnant on the boat.
Yeah, and I'm already... Well, now I'm in the 3rd trimester, so I'm very sore. Just from sitting. Like, I have to lay down.
Remember when, Dave Grohl, when he broke his leg, and then he sat on that throne on stage for a while when he would perform?
That was awesome.
Let's get you one of those thrones.
Kind of wheel you around.
Yeah.
It could be an automated one.
I just want a couch.
All right, we'll get a couch. We'll put some sticks on the end of it so we can carry you around all day.
Well, we can get a couch.
Yeah, I just want to be vertical.
We can carry
or horizontal.
We can carry a couch or some other, and like Josh said, I mean, I don't know what are the apparatuses? Remember back in the old movies, like some kind of a...
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing.
Yeah, like the Sultan or the Queen would sit on...
Yeah, it's like a gurney, but fancy.
Yeah, and then some shirtless dudes, where you get 4 shirtless dudes to carry you around.
That would be awesome.
A giant pillow, and then, like Josh said, the minions would carry you. Yeah, we can do whatever you'd like to make you comfortable.
Can I have somebody feeding me grapes? I've been really into grapes lately.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you like the cotton candy ones.
Oh, they're so good.
Whatever you want. It's quite obvious here, especially the last 3 weeks, that you are uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's not fun.
We want you to be comfortable. Whatever you need, we'll haul it onto the boat so you can... I mean, maybe we'll just close off one... If you've never been on our boat party, it's 3 levels of boat, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we close off one level, just put a bed in there, and you can just lay there and look at your cell phone.
One of the indoor portions that has the air conditioning for you. We don't need you overheating.
Maybe you don't want air conditioning. Maybe you do. Maybe we'll just close off one level, and that will be Ashley's maternity ward, and we'll just put a bed in. You can play video game, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, should we bring your OBGYN on board? What if you all of a sudden the baby pops out on that thing?
What are the chances?
Oh, yeah.
That would be legendary.
What are the chances you give birth on the boat?
Pretty slim.
Pretty slim. Okay.
Yeah.
What if we just jumped? What if you jumped up and down for
Maybe
a while?
that would help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're due in August?
Yep.
Early August or where?
August 22nd.
Okay, so towards the end of August.
Yeah, but they claim that you take after your mom, and the latest my mom has ever carried a baby is 6 weeks early. So chances that I'm going to have him early are pretty high.
Oh, so it's possible.
Also, he's on the larger side, so he might have to come.
Oh, wait a
early.
minute.
So wait, I thought you just said the chances were slim that you give birth on the boat. Now you're saying chances are good that this happened 6 weeks ahead of time.
Well, 28 weeks is still, or I guess, let's see. Oh, by the boat. Oh, I didn't think about how for some reason I was thinking about like now.
No, the end of June.
End of
June
June.
27th.
Yeah, there's a chance.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be something. That'd be so good for the program if you wouldn't mind doing that. And then is it a resident
can
of
try.
Wisconsin or Minnesota if it's on the St. Croix? You get to pick?
He gets to choose when he feels comfortable.
Can people, guests on the boat, can we take some sort of vote? Have a straw poll and decide if your kid's from Wisconsin or Minnesota?
That's paperwork that I'm glad I'm not going to have to fill out. You know, if you give birth to the baby on the boat and Josh is wondering, does that make it a Minnesotan or a Wisconsin? That's paperwork that
Maybe both.
It does sound like a tax nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does. Stressful.
We'll get you a bucket of hot water. We'll get you pillows, a blanket, whatever you need.
Sweet. Sounds great. I'm excited.
June 27th. The name of the boat is the Avalon. Stillwater River Boats, wonderful people. They always put us on the Avalon. And I almost forgot to mention that all of this is a reality thanks to a great amount of help from Warner's Dock and Red Wing Shoes, and we can't thank those folks enough for getting involved. Go to our website, 93x.com, if you want more friggin' information. Listen and win, Josh.
That's how you do it.
That's how we hook them.
We were told, force people to listen where they have no other choice.
Right.
That's the key to successful radio.
A baby splashing down on the boat. What an event that would be.
That would be terrifying.
We've seen people attempt to make a baby on the boat.
Oh, plenty of attempts, that's for sure. I often wonder if any of those attempts worked.
Yeah.
There's a couple where I thought, in that position, somebody's definitely getting pregnant. There is no doubt in my mind. You can't have sex that way and not have a baby show up 9 months later.
Right. Oh, God help us. We'll continue to pump out tickets, all the way up until the day of June 27th. Big party. So, Ashley, on the topic of this nightmare pregnancy that you're currently in the midst of, do you... A couple days ago, you were talking about all the limitations that you need to abide by when you're with child. Can you stand and take a shower like a grown person, or have you been demoted to just sprawling out in a bathtub and just?
Or, get one of those teak sitting benches or whatever.
with a big stick trying to reach all of your parts just, when you need to clean yourself up. Bathtub or shower?
No, I shower.
Okay.
And then usually at the end, though, I'll finish off with a bath. Like a little bit of a bath.
Well, you're squeaky clean.
Yeah, well, just because it feels good on my legs.
Do you folks know who Dr. Squatch is? Squatch, Dr. Squatch.
Can't say I'm familiar.
I'm imagining here, this is just a blind guess, that's the brand name.
Oh, yeah, there's a soap company.
Oh.
Dr. Squatch Soap Company.
Soap company. Oh, for a second there, I thought he was like Mr. Skin. On the internet.
I thought it would be like some sort of TikTok influencer or something.
Right. Do people still know who Mr. Skin is? Is he still popular?
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, you don't?
That sounds disturbing.
For a while, he was very popular because really no one was as perverted and organized as he was.
He was kind of a pioneer of porn. Wouldn't you say that's
a porn documentation?
Porn document.
So he would point to, let's say you were interested in something like Sydney Sweeney. Has her nipple ever appeared in a film? And he'd say, oh, yeah, it was this film at 31 minutes in. Here's what you want to look for. He would point to all, like he had a database of depravity.
Are you familiar with that, Dana?
Yeah, a little bit. Now that Josh remembered, I knew there was a guy who would catalog every nude scene.
Yeah.
You want to see Halle Berry, you want to see her,
right.
This movie, this time, exactly.
Right, okay. I mean, before there was Pornhub, before there was, how do you call it? I guess that's as far as I can go.
Yeah, it was more like, wasn't it more just like regular actresses?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
So it wasn't like porn stuff.
No, but yeah, I suppose I don't know if I'm confusing things by, I don't know. If I see a naked lady in a regular movie, is that not called porn?
No.
Oh, it's not?
I would think porn you'd have to show private parts and intercourse.
Naked lady.
Well, like intercourse, like you'd have to see stuff.
But a magazine like Playboy, that's porn, right? And all it is just naked ladies.
Well, I don't know. I mean, so you're saying if you watch a rated R movie?
Yeah.
I guess some people might consider that porn.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm asking.
I'll tell you, if I showed you that, said, hey, come on over, we're going to watch some porn, and I showed you that, you'd say that's not porn.
I'd be disappointed.
You've said with Playboy, that's not porn.
Yeah, I'm asking. I don't know. So I didn't mean to confuse things.
I'm not sure.
I didn't mean to confuse things by using the word porn. But yeah, what this Mr. Skin guy did was what Josh explained. He would feature certain actresses on his website, certain movies that had a lot of nudity in it.
There's mixed feelings
on what
Dr.
porn is?
Squatch.
Oh, on Dr. Squatch.
Yeah.
Okay, he produces some kind of he's a soap guy. Dr. Squatch, whoever that is, and however you feel about him, is coming out with a new product. You just said something about, Sydney Sweeney.
That's why she came to mind here, because of this.
And I know, Ashley, you've pushed this woman on me. You've sent me pictures of Sydney Sweeney. I still couldn't tell you what she does for a living, but I know you've pushed her on me and said, this gal is scorching hot. You need to pay attention to Sydney Sweeney. I apologize, I have not.
It's okay.
Coming up in the near future, you can go off, I suppose, to a store and buy Sydney Sweeney's bathwater.
I thought this
Wait a minute. Is that what it is?
It's bathwater soap.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So I thought this was more creative than, because like you're right. You see some of these women like, hey, here's my actual bathwater, and they send you a jar of it. And so this is like the evolution of that.
Right. I misspoke. Again, all I've been doing is confusing things this morning. It's a bar of soap infused with Sydney Sweeney's bathwater.
Yep.
The bar, the soap bar is called Sydney's Bathwater Bliss. All right, and it smells like pine, Douglas fir, whoever that is, and earthy moss. And that's supposedly...
Earthy moss sounds like a singer from like the 50s or 40s.
Yeah. And I think if I have this correct, those scents are in tribute to where Sydney Sweeney grew up, Washington State. She was some kind of, hippie that liked to wander around the woods. So that's why her bathwater bar of soap smells like pine and trees and all kinds of hippy-dippy nonsense. Now, Sydney Sweeney has a quote here about this new product. She says, when we were at the Dr. Squatch shoot, whatever that means, they had a tub for me. I actually got in there and took a bath. And then they took the water. And then they made the soap. So it's my real bath water, she says. Maybe one or two guys are texting in right now saying, well, did she pee in there? I don't know.
Maybe that's the next generation once they sell out of this one.
The sequel soap.
Thank you for people who have been listening for so long saying, wasn't there some controversy between 93X and Mr. Skin? And there was, and I completely forgot.
Well, I have no memory of this.
And it wasn't our fault. I totally admit if it was our fault. It was more poor communication, where the people behind Mr. Skin, like the skin walkers or whatever they call them, his folks, said, hey, here's a code for you to share. And so at the time, our guy Ross was operating the internet, and he put the code out he thought we could share it with 93X listeners, like, hey, go check out Mr. Skin. Well, that wasn't the case. He meant share it with your coworkers so we could talk about it. So that was the miscommunication. And I guess I never talked to the Mr. Skin folks. Ross did. And he said they were absolutely furious. They were really upset with us.
We gave our listeners a free ride.
Yeah, free code.
A free ride on Mr. Skin when normally it costs a few bucks to see Leah Thompson and Christine Brinkley naked on his website.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
And yes, I did just make a reference to two women who have not been significant for 40 years. When I said Leah Thompson and Christy Brinkley.
Leah Thompson will always be significant to me.
Then
I can't blame you.
That's a wonderful thing to say. Mm-hmm. She was such an adorable character back in the 1980s. Sydney Sweeney, it says here, is very aware of her sex appeal. Back to her bar of soap that's being sold that has some of her bathwater in there. She says, fans always joke about wanting my bathwater, and I was all like, this is such a cool way to, give them what they want. What are you making that face for, Ashley?
The way you said like.
Well, that's how the young people come off now. You have to have like in there every 3 or 4 words. Oh, but then she also, deep down, and I'm sure she's very sincere about this, she also deep down has a quote in here where she is very hopeful that this bar of soap with her bathwater squirted in there somewhere, she's very hopeful that this encourages her fans to take care of themselves in a healthy way.
Sure.
I bet she does have a lot of fans that don't bathe very often.
What's that?
I bet she does have a lot of fans that don't bathe very often.
I guess that's a good point.
She's pretty and all, but I don't think I'd ever use that soap. That seems like a gag gift you give to somebody else.
Yeah.
You imagine if that's when you swore at home, that's what your parents used to wash your mouth off? Maybe you'd swear a little more. That backfired. Vacation Jesus said if Tara Reid had a bath bomb, it smelled like where she grew up, it would smell like metal trusses, rotten fish, and garbage. She is not a river troll that lives under a bridge. People seem to think that's exactly who Tara
Thank you,
Reid is.
Josh, for making. Who sent that text in?
Vacation Jesus.
Guess who's not coming on the boat? We'll set your phone number aside, Vacation Jesus, and you will not board that boat in Stillwater. You know how much it costs for a bar of Sydney Sweeney's urine and bathwater soap? You know how much it costs? How much it costs?
How much?
$800.
Oh,
That's no,
sorry,
you're off.
$8.
Yeah, you're way off on that.
oh, that's not bad.
You know, speaking of hot women, I had one of those pivotal moments in life just very recently, actually just last night. Those rare defining experiences which shift your perspective as life goes on. I mean, think like graduating high school, having kids, first kiss, landing your first full-time job. And this is what it was like for me last night. A new twist.
A new twist?
I watched the most recent episode of Family Guy. Has anyone here seen it yet?
Haven't seen it in years.
Yes. Yes, I have.
Okay, so then you know what I'm talking about. I witnessed something that has made its mark in my life, and I'll never be the same. The episode featured Lois, the milfy matriarch on the show.
She's a very sexy little number.
She masturbates for the first time in her life.
Oh.
I could see myself being very drawn to that as well, Josh. I don't know if I can compare it to. What did you compare it to?
It was a pivotal moment in your life.
Yeah. But you compared it to first time you kissed a woman and this and that.
It's things, defining moments that change who you are.
I'd have to see it, I guess, but I'm
it's
certain.
hot.
I bet it is, because she's a hot lady.
It's also creepy because her daughter Meg convinces her to do it.
Yeah, that's kind of ruins it.
It does ruin it a bit. That's.
Well, why can't grown women have a conversation about masturbation?
Well, isn't she a
Meg.
high school student?
Yeah.
Who?
Meg.
Oh, sorry for a second there. I thought that the Griffin family were real people and have aged, but they have not.
No, they have not
They're
aged.
a cartoon family.
Yeah.
I was picturing like a 41-year-old Meg having a conversation with her mother when in the show she's just a. Well, wow, that sounds really hot.
Oh, it was. I mean, because she's been my cartoon crush forever. Probably my one and only Jessica Rabbit back in the day, but certainly Lois.
Very understandable that Lois Griffin would be your cartoon crush. Okay, wow.
And as you can imagine, if you watch the show, Quagmire had quite the reaction.
Oh, I bet he did.
Well, he becomes aware of
Yeah.
how does he become aware of
He finds out about it.
He does?
It's the talk of the town because more happens after that.
It's the first time, even though Lois is a woman in her 40s or something on the program, it's the first time she ever touched herself.
In her life.
In her life. Does she just give way like a damn a tsunami?
Yes.
And the whole town hears her?
No, it's just kind of how she changes. She's very open about it. She tells everybody.
Yes, very, very open.
I mean, she bumps into people at sex stores, and I mean, she goes all in.
And this really turned you on?
It maybe not really turned me on, but it was on its way.
You know, we could send you some links, Josh, to some other Lois Griffin-related videos you might enjoy.
You know, it's funny.
He
you say
doesn't
that.
like those.
I know, but
Yeah.
it sounds like he's kind of
wouldn't-
intrigued, though.
No. I wouldn't want to watch the full on. This was enough for me.
Hey, Dana, I'm a fan.
Okay, I'll send you the links.
I like that stuff. That stuff is hilarious. I like the cartoon porn.
It's funny.
I don't know. I saw somebody sent me one, and it's disturbed me so much. My first experience into different porns were so disturbing that talk about pivotal moments.
Yeah, you really got thrown in the deep end,
It's
man.
the Jetsons one. You know what I'm talking about with Judy and the dad?
Oh, I've seen the Jetsons.
Oh, God. That was
I've seen all of them.
Why did that exist? That was terrible.
Well-
but I had mentioned to my friend who also likes Family Guy, I'm like, you got to check this out. And he's like, nah, it's like, I've cranked it to Lois porn so many times. He's like, you can find it anywhere.
Cranked it.
Hey, that's what he
is
said.
what he said.
He calls it cranking it. Or cracking one off. That's the other thing he says.
Why does he talk about masturbation so much?
That's a great question. I never considered that.
So much so he has two separate slang terms for it that you are familiar with.
Oh, yeah, and it's like said quite often.
Yeah, that's unnecessary.
I never even realized it until
Tell the
now.
guy that's not. You're not interested in that. Anyway,
Maybe
well,
he's trying to start something
I don't
with
know.
me.
People are funny about that. It's like, keep that to yourself once in a while. Anyway, Lois Griffin, in the latest episode of Family Guy, masturbates for the first time in her life, and you've gone ahead and and chalked it up as a life-altering type of an experience when you
Yeah,
watch.
certainly if I watch Family Guy. I know what she does.
I'll have to get a look at that. She certainly is a very sexy character. Very sexy lady. I mean, I'm not the biggest Family Guy fan in the world. I haven't seen it in years. But I certainly had my stretches of time where I made a point of watching the reruns and whatnot. There's been quite a few episodes where Lois grabbed my attention. The one that comes to mind is when she was going through, what's the term again, a midlife crisis?
Oh, yep.
Mm-hmm. And suddenly she's wearing tiny little jean skirts. And
She goes all bad girl.
Yeah, midriff-bearing tops and pierced and tattooed, and she's cruising around all night in a Jeep and drinking.
Yep.
And she's flashing people at the... I know the feeling that you got last night, Josh. I do.
Yeah, you've had it too.
Yeah.
The Insomniac Jesus says, what about banging Betty on the Flintstones? Yeah, she's also very attractive.
Betty was a pretty lady.
Hatch Daddy Jesus also says he'll never be able to watch Family Guy the same ever again. I was not expecting that. Family Guy's not what it used to be. I mean, when it's on, it's kind of like South Park. When it's on, it is on,
Boy,
and nobody can touch them.
I haven't seen South Park in years either.
But then a lot of other times, it's just you could tell that they really don't want to do this anymore. But
it's
they have
still,
to.
but it's still
Yeah.
a massive pile of
Yeah.
money.
Their networks are saying you got to do this. We'll pay you whatever you want.
Pay you whatever you friggin' want. I'd keep cranking out and not cranking out in the style that Josh's friend. I'd keep pumping out episodes too if I were the Family Guy people. Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I'd like you to watch it and see if it had an effect on you.
How can I do such a thing?
I think you
Hulu.
have Hulu.
Oh, yeah, I think I do.
Yep,
okay,
on
so
there.
I'll try to find that tonight. Yeah, the Twins don't play till 9 o'clock tonight, so I can very likely... Would you text me tonight and remind me?
Yeah,
because I would
absolutely.
like to see that. I would.
How would I
like to
phrase that?
Phrase what?
Just don't forget to watch Family Guy, or
Yeah.
should I remind you why you should watch it? You'll remember?
You could be very specific or not terribly specific. I'm sure this conversation will still be fresh enough in my mind to where I'll know what you're talking about. There you go.
Oh, no, now people are sending screenshots of some Lois porn.
Hell yeah.
Well, what are you sending them to Josh for? I'm the one who likes the stuff. Lois porn. You guys see what Cleveland did to her?
Oh, no.
She got with Cleveland. He's married.
Cleveland.
Well, I suppose she is, too.
Oh, he destroyed her.
Peter talked about being a cuckold last night, or, in the most recent Family Guy, and he didn't like being one.
He did not
He
like...
did not like being cuckolded.
Well, there's always one or two that don't get it.
I don't know why, but I love that word.
Other folks are, I still am not 100% sure what it means, but I see it everywhere. People are texting in some of the other cartoon hotties that grab them from time to time. Never saw it. American Dad. Baudette fishing guide Jesus is attracted to Francine
sure.
from the show American
I don't
Dad.
see it.
Okay, you guys have to tell me. I've never experienced that character or that program. Oh, but remember when we interviewed, back to Lois Griffin, do you recall when we interviewed the lady who voices her character?
Yeah, it
And
was very early on in the show.
That's so fun.
No, it was one of the least enjoyable 15 minutes of my life.
That makes me sad.
Yeah,
She
she
was
wasn't
very-
what we had hoped she was.
Very, very full of herself.
Yeah. Maybe that's changed, but certainly at that time when, Family Guy was what everybody was talking about, she definitely kind of had that air.
I hated it. It was very disappointing.
It was disappointing.
All right, we got to get going again. I don't know who some of these characters are that people are texting in. Nala from Lion King?
Nala?
Who's Lion King? The
Well,
original?
Are they,
Yeah, Simba's wife.
Aren't they dogs or something?
They're lions.
They're lions?
They're lions.
Yes. The Lion King is about dogs.
I don't follow this stuff.
Now, you're thinking of Tiger King. That was about dogs.
Yeah.
We got to get going again. You're a great crowd, and we appreciate you being there with us. When we come back, I suppose we'll swing into the stupid news here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
You buy a pair of socks, that's 2 socks. You buy a pair of Bombas socks, that's 4 socks. Because one purchased is one donated. Socks are the #1 most requested clothing item in homeless shelters. So when you buy a pair of super comfortable Bombas socks, you're also donating a pair. Bombas customers have powered over 150 million donations. So Bombas would like to thank you 150 million times. But we only have like 30 seconds. Go to bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/listen and use code LISTEN at checkout.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Word. My life partner, Cubby, sitting over there. He was telling us earlier about a life-altering experience that he had last night. He watched the latest episode of Family Guy, and in that episode, Lois Griffin, wife of Peter Griffin, she masturbates on camera. Josh watched it last night. Some of our listeners did too, and they also said, wow, wee wah. Josh chalked it up as a life-altering experience. This turned him on. He's not sure how to feel about it, watching Lois Griffin masturbate on television. Any further comments on this, Josh, or you've said it all at this point?
I think I said it all.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, it was pivotal. I wasn't expecting it. I felt like I was looking around, like my parents aren't going to walk in the room or anything. And it was a little more, well, I shouldn't say graphic, but they showed a little more than I had expected. I mean, I might be overselling it a little bit, but I mean, I wasn't expecting watching the hand go down. I wasn't expecting a few things like that.
Right, you're not built for that.
No.
No. You like things to stay fairly G-rated.
And especially who was encouraging her to explore her body. That was a little on the disturbing
Well,
side.
who was it?
It was her daughter, Meg.
Her daughter,
high
Meg.
school daughter, Meg.
Meg said, Mom, you got to go ahead and touch yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And she even talks her through it at one point. Anyways.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So we got to talking about hot cartoon characters, and there's plenty of them out there. The most popular, we brought it up earlier, hot cartoon characters. Some text messages rolled in. You can always get a hold of us, 651-989-9393. The most popular answers that I received were, I'd say the most popular was Elastigirl from something called The Incredibles.
Yep, that makes sense. She's very hot.
And then you got your Daphne from Scooby-Doo, and you got your
good one.
Francine from American Dad, and this one here, Layla from Futurama. Never saw it, but Elastigirl, whoever that is.
Yeah, she's very, very popular.
I'm trying to picture which one. Is she the mom?
She's the mom.
Okay, yeah, she's attractive.
Lola Bunny, never saw it. Lola Bunny from the original Space Jam.
Oh, without a doubt.
I haven't seen that.
It's kind of a deep cut. Does anybody remember the show Daria on MTV back in the day?
Yes.
I saw the ads. I never watched the show.
I could never stand to watch 2 seconds of it, but I certainly remember it. It was promoted a lot during Beavis and Butthead and shows that were enjoyable.
She had glasses.
Yeah,
she had
kinda
glasses.
nerdy.
She was very nerdy, kind of like an introvert, but she had a hot sister, a cheerleader sister who has like the classic blonde, always wore the cheerleader outfit in school. Oh, she was scorching hot.
I wish I could remember the Jesus name, but somebody texted in and said, all right, be honest, because I had mentioned Lois Griffin is my longtime cartoon crush.
Yeah.
Like, be honest, you got turned on when Bugs Bunny dressed as a woman. And I got to say, I did notice. I definitely noticed. He makes a good-looking gal. That's for sure. Do you remember that episode, Nick?
Oh, there were multiple episodes,
Yeah.
yes, where Bugs Bunny transformed himself into a woman in order to fool Elmer Fudd. He worked it.
Yeah, he did.
Without a
he
doubt.
did make it work.
And then you get your Jessica Rabbit and you get your
absolutely.
She-Ra.
She-Ra never did it for me, but I could see.
Oh, She-Ra was stacked.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Is
it that you don't remember She-Ra?
Well, I remember who she is, but I guess I can't picture
Who was the
her.
female sidekick to He-Man.
Yeah, see, He-Man, I was a fan of the show.
You had a crush on He-Man.
Well, I like the show. Man, He-Man.
You were attracted to He-Man.
No. I had like a pull towards He-Man, you know.
Yeah, you were attracted to him.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'd watch him, and I just couldn't stop watching him when He-Man was on screen. It's not an attraction. Just like a magnetism.
All right. Yeah.
Finally, you get it.
Now, see, this is confusing to me because I punched up She-Ra, and she's blonde. I remember She-Ra to be a redhead. So who am I thinking of?
I mean, let's see.
When I watched the He-Man cartoon show as a grade school junior high kid, She-Ra was a scorching hot redhead. At least that's what I remember her to be. So but maybe I'm confusing my hot female cartoon characters.
Are you thinking of the sorceress of Castle Grayskull?
Ah, Christ. that could be.
And she kind of had like a bird helmet on of some sort?
That could be, because who ran things at Castle Grayskull again? Skeletor. Did he
was
had
the landlord.
He had a girlfriend?
I don't know what
He
their
had a lady?
relationship was.
What's her name? The Sorceress?
Of Castle Grayskull.
They
let me see if she actually has a name.
They didn't give her a damn name? Sorceress Castle
Talina?
Grayskull.
Tila?
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 Tequila.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know who I'm mistaking for who here, but I remember She-Ra to be a redhead. I must be thinking of some other scorching hot female cartoon character. We'll have to just get past it. I hate that we have to just move on, but we probably should move on.
I'm trying to check and text here. Yeah, people are saying Tila.
Oh, Tila. Okay. And others are saying I'm thinking of Thundercats. All right.
Oh. I love the Thundercats. You probably didn't get into Thundercats. I don't see you
No, that
watching
sounds
Thundercats.
terrible. That sounds terrible. Yeah, I'm trying to find Tila now. Didn't I just say we were going to move on?
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, I don't know who I'm thinking of. Oh, real quick before we move on to the stupid news. A text message. I've been podcasting for years from Brainerd. I would like one shout out, please. Thanks. And that's from Min.Radio Jesus.
He called us Peckerheads. Or
Who calls
Pecker
us-
Woods. Which one was it?
Peckerwoods?
Pecker Woods.
Thank you, Min.Radio Jesus, for listening for all those years from Brainerd. All right, on to the stupid news.
By the way, I can admit when I'm wrong. I Googled what attraction means, and I used words like he was appealing, there was a magnetism.
Yeah.
I was attracted to him, it turns out. You were right.
You were attracted
Yeah.
to...
I'm glad you're figuring that out, Josh.
I'm fine. I can admit when I'm wrong.
I was kind of like I've explained to you guys before. I watched Star Wars as a kid for one reason, and that reason was Darth Vader, and I wanted him to kill as many people as possible, specifically Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, Yoda, the robots, whatever their names were, and he never got around to killing any of them. I watched He-Man for Skeletor. Skeletor was a pimp. All he wanted to do was kill folks, so I was always rooting for the heel.
Have you watched
And
it?
who was that hot redhead?
People are saying Tila.
All right.
Have you watched it as an adult?
The first 3 Star Wars shows?
I'm sorry, going back to He-Man.
Oh, No, I haven't seen He-Man since I was a 6th grader or something.
And this has happened to me watching some things as a kid I was
terrible.
obsessed with. Maybe even you could say attracted to.
Yeah.
They are dorks.
It's terrible.
Why was I ever scared of Skeletor?
Right. It's
He's
awful.
A nerd.
The shows were awful.
Yeah.
But
and He-Man was such a dork.
He was a complete moron.
I never realized that.
And he was just the straightest laced guy in town, just to the point where he was obnoxious. But I have gone back and watched other kid shows that I was into as a kid, and the stuff is just terrible. I don't know how it held our attention for more than 30 seconds, but I suppose the easy answer is, Josh, we didn't know any better.
But there wasn't like a ton of alternatives.
No, there were zero alternatives, actually, zero.
This person says, you're embarrassing yourself to me. Tila was the ginger man-at-arms' daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I just
So
Googled
confused.
There was a scorching hot redhead hero character on my television when I was a kid, and I don't know who she was, but I will come up with it before the end of this conversation. We got to get involved in the stupid news. Was there... All right, I got to stop going back to it. Someone's going to text in the correct answer. Scorching hot redhead female cartoon character. We're going to begin the stupid news by dealing with those damn toe lickers. We've reached a point now where we might need to start cracking down on those bastards. The toe lickers, Cubby. Have they moved into your neighborhood yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
I've spotted them in my hometown.
If you have a foot fetish.
I do?
No, if you have one, I'm saying.
If you have a foot fetish.
You got to rein some of these people in, the extremists, because they're giving you a bad name. Like, I don't have a problem with people who are into feet, but you hear so many of these stories, you start to be a little prejudiced.
That's who I'm talking about, the extremists.
Yeah, you got to help rein them in. You don't deserve this negative connotation from some of these goofballs.
I've seen them in my hometown. They sit and wait for me to walk around in my flippy flops.
No.
That's the stuff that gets them going.
No.
They fantasize about deep-throating my toes.
Oh.
I would never do that. I'm lactose intolerant.
Don't
back
you
after
ever
this.
do that. Don't ever do that again.
I'm on the
I was
keto
drinking something,
diet.
dude. Stop.
No, it wasn't Daphne from Scooby-Doo. I don't know who Starfire is.
Why, somebody's yelling at me for not mentioning Jessica Rabbit. I did. I mentioned it earlier.
No, it
Gosh.
wasn't. It wasn't Scarlet from G.I. Joe. It wasn't
Strawberry Shortcake.
wasn't Strawberry Shortcake.
That would have been terrifying. I don't know how I would have felt
Or
about you after
Rainbow Bright, or I had it here and I lost it. All right, back to the toe lickers. A couple weeks ago, somewhere's out there in California, where all different types of oddballs wander, a toe licker. Are you listening to this so far, Ashley?
Yep.
A toe licker broke on into a lady's house, and that's where he went ahead and he nibbled and he licked on her toes while she was sleeping.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing, if you're into feet, you don't need this out there.
No. This happened.
Because, obviously you hear people doing some pretty bad things, but of fetishes specifically, you don't hear other ones like this, right? Where they're forcing you to step on their genitals or something like that.
Furries don't break into your home and furry.
Not at all.
No, they're very upfront about it.
Yeah, let's say you're into breast milk. Breast milkers don't break into your home and milk breasts.
That would be absolutely terrifying.
But toe lickers break into homes and lick toes.
Yeah, the extremists.
The
they tend
extremists.
to.
Oh, you wake up and somebody's breastfeeding off of
Or like
you.
there's just
What?
Oh, not again.
a lady sitting at the bus stop and some dude. It's always guys, right? You never hear about the women with the feet fetish doing things like that. Like, let's say a woman likes her toes sucked. She doesn't break in your house and stick her foot in your mouth. I could stick my own foot in my mouth.
Dude broke into a lady's house. She's asleep, and he licked at her toes. This happened shortly after midnight a couple weeks ago. That's when the toe lickers come out of the shadows, is after midnight. Can you imagine, Ashley, coming out of a deep sleep and some greasy bastard is at the end of your bed tonguing at your little piggies?
No.
And he's probably jacking it, too, at the same
that
time.
would be
Cranking
so
it.
scary. I can't fathom that, no.
He would be dead, wouldn't he? You'd cut off one of your toenails and stab him to death with it.
That or I would just freeze.
Now, the poor
No in
gal
between.
on the other end of this deal that's never going to get a good night's sleep again for the rest of her life. I can only imagine what she's going through, the poor gal who was on the other end of this. The dirty toe licker goes by the name of Christian or something. He's in a lot of trouble for this. Sounds like he was stalking this poor gal for weeks. He was stalking her at her job. He would follow her home and then sleep in his car outside of her house.
Oh.
On the terrible night of this incident, the lady woke up to this effing sick bastard licking her toes at a rapid pace, like a...
That makes it so much worse.
Yeah, I don't like when you do that. No. Like that ASMR, right? Some people like that.
That's so much worse than licking them slowly. I don't
He was
know.
just really wagging up and down as fast as he could.
You like your forced toe licking to be a little more sensual, do you?
Yeah, that's too
More
much.
like a...
Yep,
Then
exactly. Yep.
She wakes up, he's licking at her toes really quickly, and then the effing guy ups and tries to crawl into bed with her. Well, bedtime. Scoot over there, baby.
I'm tired. I'm spent.
I got what I wanted.
Had all the toes I can handle.
Yep. She smacked the piss out of this guy.
Heck yeah.
Bah, 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 bah. She knocked him all around the bedroom. He ran. The police found him the next day. He's like jacking it on a street corner or something like that. Just cut this guy's Johnson off and call it. That's what I say.
Yeah, like you always say, Ashley, he has not earned his penis.
Not at all.
Keep an eye out for those toe lickers. Again, I hate to keep going back to this, but I'm having a terrible time here trying to come up with. There was a scorching hot, red-headed hero character on cartoons when I was a kid in the 80s, 70s and 80s, and I can't come up with her name. It's not, I'm referring to text messages now from our listeners. It's not Princess Rhea. It's not Yosemite Sam.
Somebody wants to know if it's Raggedy Ann. It's not Raggedy Ann.
Not Raggedy Ann.
Oh, I love
it's
Raggedy
not April from the Midget Turtles. What were they called again?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Never saw it. So
was
it
a
wasn't
babe, though.
April. It wasn't Red Sonja. It wasn't She-Ra. See, that's where the problem began. We were talking about He-Man, and then I said She-Ra was hot, and I looked her up on the internet, and on the internet they presented her as a blonde.
What about Princess Rhea?
Who's that?
She was also in He-Man, was she not?
You got to come up with a picture of her.
Okay, I got one here.
Princess Rhea? Oh, wow. She's hot, but that's not who I'm thinking of. All right, we'll get back to it. This is awful, terrible, awful news that I have for you now. But it happens. And 99 times out of 100, it happens in either India or Thailand. This time around, it's Thailand's turn to provide us a ridiculous, effing, violent, bloody animal attack story. Some poor sumbitch over there, he pert near bled to death after a 15-foot python bit him on his effing rod while he was sitting on the throne taking a crap.
I thought in places in the world where you could have something like this happen, everybody checks the toilet. Like it was a common practice. I mean, I check the toilet, and I don't even have to worry about snakes.
Right.
Yeah, I always do because of spiders.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I just want to see if somebody left something in there that I got to get rid of first. Yeah, I've never checked for an animal.
What you're saying makes sense. What you're saying makes sense, Josh. If I lived in one of these places, Thailand, what's the other place I mentioned? India? I'd check the toilet every time, but...
Like in Texas, I've heard people check their cowboy boots. for rattlers,
scorpions and rattlesnakes. But maybe if you're from these places, you're so used to seeing these horrible lizards and pythons everywhere that you just, after a while, you just don't even bother. So poor guy sitting on the toilet, pressing out a deuce. A 15-foot python bit him on his dong. Athaporn is the feller's first name. Athaporn. And he's all the way up to 38 years old. His 38-year-old Thai dong was bitten right there at his own home.
Oh,
ain't that something? The safest place for any man should be on his own home toilet, but not this time. Not for our guy, Athaporn. Says here he was peacefully cutting a log. He felt a sudden sharp pain. He reached down into the bowl, and he saw that 22-foot python I was telling you about. It was chewing on the crown of his pecker.
Oh.
On the crown. What do they call that part? The crown, the lid.
The head?
Yeah, the head. And this python's down there just going,
Okay, swinging it around like a helicopter.
What was the toe licker doing?
The toe licker was going.
And then the python again?
Python, you want me to go toe licker, python, toy licker?
Yeah.
And you toggle back and forth like that.
And how long did you say this python was?
34 feet.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I misremembered. I thought you
That's
said
insane.
in the 20s at some point.
I like this part. Athaporn, the guy who got his D bitten, he called his wife into the room.
I probably would too.
Yeah.
I like that part. That's hilarious to me, picturing the wife coming on into the room to see such a thing.
I wouldn't want to see that.
The two of them were pulling on this python. They were pulling the python is what they were doing. Both of them at the same time. A 1, 2, a 3. Trying to...
I'm not falling for that again. I'm not going to pull your python. Get out of here. Is it Queen Marlena?
Did you say what? Queen what?
Is that her name, Marlena? Queen Marlena?
No, she was like a badass hero. Not Queen Marlena. Thank you for showing me. What show is she from?
Also from He-Man.
From He-Man? Okay. He calls his wife into the room. Both of them are pulling on this snake to see if it'll give way as it's hanging on to this guy's wad. And it finally did let go.
Oh, gosh. And that's the last thing he saw.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
In a strange twist, it says here, before he passed out from blood loss, because that happened. He passed the hell out from how much blood was pouring out of the end of his Johnson. Before he passed out from blood loss, talk about presence of mind, Athaporn managed to tie a rope around the snake's head and secure that rope to the bathroom door to prevent it from escaping. And I suppose that's one way to do it.
I don't think that would come to mind for me.
No. The wife made a telephone call. Paramedics came and scooped up Athaporn before he bled out. But the way it goes from here, it sounds like the snake did get away. There's footage of rescue crews working to extract the python from the toilet's plumbing. So the tying the rope around the snake and tying it to the bathroom door, I guess, didn't work. They tore this guy's bathroom to pieces until they fetched this pecker biter python. When they found the ugly bastard, they put it in a bag, and then they released it back into the wild.
But it's got a taste for penis.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you're right, Josh. This is going to be one penis-hungry snake now.
They always say, like, if it's some sort of animal, it's a man-eater. Once it does it once, it's going to do it again.
Yep.
I don't get that. You don't set that damn thing loose. You kill that effing thing. Like Josh said, it still had penis on its breath.
There's not going to be a penis left in that town.
Penis either.
And so authorities believe that this D-hungry python swam on up through the pipes to kill Athaporn. 46-foot python coming up through the bottom of your toilet.
How big?
47 feet.
Can you imagine being the new guy? What the hell would he do if he had to see something like that?
Oh, the new guy?
Yeah, like he's out in the corner somewhere.
Puking his guts out. All right. Can we turn down the background music a little bit?
Yeah.
I got a text message saying it was kind of loud, and then I think it kind of played a psychological game with me.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even notice.
It was kind of making me crazy after a while.
I get it.
All right, speaking of India and Thailand, I'm tired of this song and dance right here. The effing snake and turtle smuggler dorks. They smuggle insects. They smuggle all different types of critters. It's friggin' stupid. So anyway, it says here now some nerd got caught smuggling piles of venomous snakes into India from Thailand. Dickhead had 44 snakes called Indonesian pit vipers. He had 44 of them in his baggage. What, are you trying to get somebody killed? And he had some stupid turtles, too. Josh, I know you like turtles.
I do like
turtles. I personally
turtles.
think they're stupid. There are pictures going around of all these effing slimy snakes this dork was trying to smuggle onto an airplane. Word is usually over there in India, they're busy hand-fighting to the death with drug smugglers. So this was a change of pace for the security folks to have to deal with the snake nerd. But it happens. They deal with monkey smugglers, birds, alligator smugglers, iguanas, frogs. Get a job, will you? Quit. It says here, Josh, one night at the airport, a college-age gal was smuggling raisins. Sorry, I blew up.
That's okay. You're passionate.
Yeah. And we still can't come up with the name of this scorching hot redheaded
Stressing
hero
me out at this
cartoon
point.
character.
And it's really not
Stressed.
Tila. Overwhelmingly, there's a word there I can't pronounce. That overwhelmingly people are saying Tila. From He-Man, she was a heroic character. Redhead.
It wasn't Tila. It just wasn't.
Maybe it wasn't a cartoon at all. Were you ordering a Baconator at the time you saw this woman?
A Baconator.
Or a Frosty?
Oh, it wasn't Wendy from Wendy's.
It wasn't. Okay.
I think we got time for one more story. It's not always the misbehaving passengers who F up an airplane ride. Sometimes the crew can get squirrely. A flight attendant working for a company called British Airways, a flight attendant took too many street drugs before the plane took off, and then upped and danced around the airplane like a jackass while he was on the job. Drugs, Cubby. He was high on drugs.
Yeah. They've made people do some weird stuff.
With the stories we read, though, I don't know if I really blame somebody who works on a plane, an airline attendant, wanting to be a little loose on the job.
Escape reality a bit.
This flight attendant guy was supposed to be serving meals on a recent airplane ride from San Francisco to London, but he disappeared. Nobody could find the prick, and they're on a friggin' airplane. But they did find him, ass
not that
naked.
big.
No, well, I don't know.
I mean, they're big, but there can't be that many places to hide.
Yeah, I don't know. They found him. He was naked in one of those little bathrooms, and he was dancing with himself. He was dancing all by himself, ass naked.
Oh my God, I can't imagine opening the door and seeing that. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm picturing.
Yeah, I'd let that go for a little bit before I calm that person down.
With somebody.
I'd probably start dancing with them a little bit, like maybe bobbing my head.
With somebody.
Yeah, get it.
The other crew members put some clothes on the guy, and then they strapped him down in a chair, and he had to stay there for the rest of the 10.5-hour plane ride.
Ooh.
Once they landed, he was arrested for being higher than a giraffe's ass while on duty. And an investigation has been launched. They always use the word launched.
Yeah, they do.
It's
You're
very
right.
dramatic. It's just too dramatic, I think. An investigation is, I like it when they say it's underway.
Yeah.
He got too
or
high.
just they're investigating.
He got too high. And that's what happens. I want to do some thorough research and try to get to the bottom of this friggin' red-haired gal, cartoon character, so we can put it to rest. It's stressing Ashley out. She's got a baby on the way.
It's not good for the baby.
What did you said it was?
An investigation is underway.
We're going to launch an investigation. We'll be back here in a few minutes on the program.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse.
93X rocks.
Oh, Lord, please.
93X.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
It's a pop-up, third base side. It's a long run. Dingler tips it. Oh, no, come on. Zach McKinstry hauls it in. Wow.
That wasn't that friggin' great.
Oh, I thought that was pretty cool.
Settle down. Friggin'
Yeah,
Detroit.
I thought it was neat.
Those friggin' announcers made a big... No, it was
Well,
a pretty...
if you watched it, I mean, they were caught in the moment.
I'm kidding. It was a pretty cool play. Last night's White Sox-Tigers game, there was a White Sox player. He popped it up. Foul territory beyond the third baseline. Here comes the Tigers catcher. Here comes the Tigers third baseman. And the catcher looked like he had the sumbitch, but weep, the ball squirts out of his glove. Luckily, the third baseman was standing right there. He made the out.
That video's up on 93x.com.
The look on the third baseman's face is hilarious. He has no idea how it happened.
He was mystified.
He was
Awesome.
mystified.
That's why you always need backup.
It was like his body took over. He didn't even realize how that ball ended up in his glove.
Yeah, it was magic.
Check that out on our friggin' website. Twins started their 4-game series against the Athletics with a win late last night. Glenn Perkins coming on today to talk about the Twins.
You know it.
7:30, Glenn Perkins will join us. Randy Shaver as well, of course. Before we go, got a text message here from college football official Jesus. And he said, could you please give a shout-out to the Sartell boys tennis team who will be playing at the state tennis tournament today for the first time in the history of their tennis program.
That's
Sartell's
awesome.
going to be there.
Did you guys ever get into tennis when you were younger?
No.
I liked it for a little bit. My parents got us, me and my brother, rackets, and we would go up to the park and play tennis.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't say we got into it, but there was a park by us where we'd go play just for nothing else to do.
I should change my answer. When you said get into it, I thought you meant like try out for the high school team or anything like that.
No.
But I really did enjoy playing tennis as a kid, even into my 30s.
It was a lot of fun.
And I was damn good at it.
I miss playing that.
We played a lot of tennis. We never played by the rules, though. It was a lot of like home run derby. You stand on one end of the court and you
Sure.
throw it and you try to hit it over the fence on the court, next to it. You try to get as far as you can.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Some of those made-up games, those were the best growing up.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I could have made a living playing tennis.
I would have supported that.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, you weren't a natural at pickleball at the time you dominated Shaver's ass, right?
Pickleball, ping pong, put a racket in my hand and I'll beat your ass. Racket, ball. What else is there, Josh?
Well, S&M, that kind of stuff. I could imagine you whipping somebody pretty good with a racket. If it was me, I'd unzip the zipper over my mouth and say, good one, and then I'd zip back up.
You better zip back up.
I know. Hey.
Before your master notices that you've unzipped your... A friend of mine, one of my best friends in high school, made the high school tennis team. None of us had any idea that he had any interest in tennis, let alone he was good enough to make the high school tennis team. And maybe you didn't need to be that great in the late 80s to make the Wayzata High School. I don't know. But what was funny about it was, then I became aware that this friend of mine played tennis and made the varsity team. What the hell are you doing? He's like, I don't know. But that was about as much knowledge as I had. One day I'm walking around the hallway, and one of my favorite teachers walks up to me, and he says, have you seen Donnie? And this was my tennis playing friend, Donnie. I said, well, yeah, what about him? Well, he hasn't shown up for tennis for like a month.
What the heck,
Where's he
dude?
been? I said, I don't know. He doesn't talk about his tennis life or anything like that. So Donnie went ahead and made the varsity tennis team and then just didn't show up for
Why?
practices because he's
Too embarrassed?
nuts.
Was it something his parents made him do, maybe?
Probably.
Because you said you never saw an interest in it before from him. Yeah, I wonder if his
Right.
folks just said, you got to sign up for something.
So this favorite teacher of mine was the tennis coach, and he says, yeah, where's your bro? I said, I don't know. He hasn't shown up in a month.
It's not my job to keep track of him.
Forfeiting match after match after match, dragging Wyzetta's overall ranking into the... Oh, by the way, Sartell, this message I got from college football official Jesus, who said Sartell made the tennis tournament. They're playing today for the first time. They are playing, as he puts it, those cake eaters from Wyzetta. Josh's news is coming up next.
93X
Half-assed morning show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can get a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help find you options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back.
I think the boundaries are getting a little unboundaried, but that's fine.
From relationships,
it's grabbing coffee with your friends. That is
right up my alley.
Right?
To business and beyond.
Where there's history, true friendships, but it's fine. I've also been a rat. I'm obsessed with her. I hate her. Literally the exact same feeling.
If you really want to party,
you have to have the perfect combination.
Give them Lala. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I could use some poontang myself right now.
The 93X Half-assed Morning Show.
I was just told I was good to go.
Okay, this is not a good tag.
They just told me that I was fine to leave. I'm trying to go home.
A 34-year-old deputy has resigned instead of being fired after she was caught riding a motorcycle with a fake license plate that read, "Chase Me." At this point, former Deputy Eric Muzzy was involved in a string of incidents Saturday night in Deltona. Authorities are now investigating what appears to be her social media account, where she posted videos of herself performing some dangerous stunts on public roads. The trouble started about 8:51 p.m. Saturday when deputies came across a group of motorcyclists hanging out at a Wawa. One of those riders was recognized as someone who'd fled from a traffic stop earlier that same night. As that suspect was being taken into custody, deputies say Muzzy became argumentative with one of the arresting officers. The fleeing suspect ended up going to jail, and Muzzy rode off.
We're told this all happened after an earlier incident in Deltona, in which Muzzy is accused of arguing with a deputy who stopped another motorcyclist in the group she was riding with.
Fast forward a couple hours, another deputy stopped a motorcycle for having a license plate that was flipped up and unreadable. Turns out that rider was Muzzy again.
Muzzy.
Once the plate was flipped down, it revealed the bold and some might say douchey message, CHASEM, the number 3, chase me.
Douchey.
That sucks.
According to the sheriff's office, Muzzy had been with the sheriff's office since 2021. What's the point of, maybe there's like some money reasons, but when they say, hey, we're going to fire you, but we'll let you retire, you know, because everybody knows what happened. I mean, if it was to save embarrassment where no one would ever know, I get that.
I can't come up with any other reason other than to what you already said, just to save embarrassment.
Because they
some
said,
type of money,
save
yeah.
face.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like a business thing.
Could be a financial thing.
Because they're releasing, we were going to can her, but we said she can retire if she wants or quit, I guess.
Some kind of pension factors in.
It's got to be something like that. In another motorcycle incident out of Florida, a 67-year-old man and a 25-year-old woman were hospitalized with thankfully non-life-threatening injuries after their motorcycles struck an alligator in Volusia County. Florida's version of a deer strike, only scalier, sent both riders off the road and the gator into the care of wildlife officials. Everyone survived.
Poor gator, too, is probably like, what the hell?
The gator?
Where'd you come from?
Made it through that?
Yeah, everybody did.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, man.
Well, no, I hate those friggin' things.
You don't like gators?
No,
Oh,
it's
I'll
stupid.
put that on the list of the other animals you hate.
Run more of them over.
The Minnesota Court of Appeals upheld a 44-year-old creepy landlord's conviction for interfering with his tenant's privacy by peering in her windows to make sure she wasn't engaging in premarital sex, which he correctly, I may add, called a mortal sin. The tenant, a woman in her 20s, told police her landlord had been watching her through the windows of her apartment. She'd moved into the basement unit of his duplex the previous fall, where he lived in the upstairs unit. The lease, she said, included a written rule banning men from being in her unit after 10 p.m., a rule she said she mostly followed. But in early November 2022, she was spending time with her boyfriend, and it appears they did it. Apparently, the landlord had a front row seat to the romance because the next day he knocked on her door and said he'd seen what they were doing through her bedroom window. And yeah, so she's in the wrong here. And he didn't appreciate them having premarital sex.
Not a bit.
A similar incident happened the following month where he once again found love through someone else's blinds, once again catching her getting frisky before saying, "I do." In both cases, he confronted her afterward, accusing her of breaking the lease. At this point, the woman's mother, who had co-signed that lease, was rightfully pissed. She contacted the Prude property owner, saying she was disturbed by him spying on her daughter. But the self-appointed sin sheriff didn't back down. He claimed he was just making sure the tenant was following the rules. During an interview with investigators, the man with a Bible and binoculars said he's religious and intentionally worded the lease to discourage premarital sex by banning overnight guests of the opposite sex.
This guy's a lunatic.
What a creep.
This is a guy that just likes to watch people have sex. Yeah, under the guise of, all I'm doing is just making sure you're following the rules here.
Even if it was if he was being honest about the premarital sex, it's still none of your business. Stop it.
Very odd. Yeah, you're not her father. You're renting out a part of your home.
You're not saving anybody.
A call about a possible home burglary in Texas ended with 2 arrests and the seizure of a significant stash of drugs and firearms after deputies discovered the only thing breaking and entering was reality itself because the caller was hallucinating under the influence of some pretty good drugs. On Friday the 23rd, deputies in San Antonio responded to a suspicious activity report. The person told deputies that he believed someone had broken into his home and may still be inside. So they told him to stay outside while they swept the scene. As they moved through the house to check for intruders, they found no burglars, only a large amount of drugs and firepower scattered like confetti at a cartel-themed birthday party. Turns out the caller was tripping on a cocktail of chemicals so strong he dialed 911 on his own drug den. Investigators discovered 8 grams of cocaine, 6 firearms of various calibers, 5 pounds of marijuana, 4 calling birds, 3 pounds of THC vape cartridges, and 2.9 ounces of Xanax.
Jeez, dude.
2 people were arrested and now face a F-ton of felony charge.
Yeah, that'll get you through a weekend party.
Oh, my God. That's not a little bit. That's a lot of drugs. That's a lot.
I'd imagine that's their income source.
I'm a little worried about that guy because, all that dope didn't belong to him.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about? He's got partners in this operation, and he just friggin' called the cops?
Yep, because he was
hallucinating too high?
Guys. A pair of hikers called police believing their friend was dead, but were totally wrong because they were totally stoned on psychedelic mushrooms. On Saturday, May 24th, state forest rangers in New York got a disturbing call from 2 hikers, panicking, saying their friend was dead, and the pair was lost on a trail. A ranger sent to recover the 2 stranded woodsmen, and they quickly determined they were in the altered mental state. Officers later discovered they'd ingested a psychoactive substance. The supposedly deceased hiker later contacted authorities on his own to confirm he was alive and uninjured. The ranger then escorted that hiker back to the group's campsite where they were reunited. In a bizarre twist, the only ones needing medical attention was the loopy duo tripping from the fungi, mourning their very much alive friend. The precise chain of events that led to the 2 hikers believing their companion had died remains unknown, other than the fact that they were totally tripping.
Really, it
Morons.
makes you want to take a fistful of those mushrooms, doesn't it?
I know, you hear stuff like this.
I'm inspired to try that now.
Show and tell has really changed since I was in grade school. Pittsburgh Public Schools urged parents to check their kids' belongings after several students at Pittsburgh Dilworth Pre-K through 5 were found with bags of heroin.
Several?
Several. The bags, marked with the words "take off," were discovered in the possession of multiple students, prompting a police investigation into how the drugs ended up in the school where they came from as well. Families with children at Pittsburgh Dilworth are being asked to go through their kids' bags and personal items.
A spokesperson for the district says in a statement, quote, "While we have been in contact with the families of those students directly, as an added precaution, we have shared this information with all Dilworth families to ensure student safety."
The families were asked to check the belongings and call 911 if they find any illegal substance.
So they must have found it on the playground or something.
Yeah, or maybe one kid brought it from home and said, "Here's some for you, two for me."
Or maybe it's just maybe somebody's targeting the younger kids. Get them hooked younger.
Just standing out by the fence somewhere.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing we found in the parking lot of our grade school, Widston Elementary, Wayzata, Minnesota, no longer exists. At one point or another, was the oldest elementary school in all of Minnesota. The only interesting thing we ever found on the property there was used rubber.
Oh, really?
That is interesting. I bet that was a very exciting day on the playground.
Well, some of us were aware, some of us were not.
Who picked it up?
I can't remember who it was, but somebody picked it up and brought it into class after recess was over, and I do remember our teacher handling it.
The grade school I went to, Christ the King in Minneapolis, which also is no longer a thing, we found some skull bandits on the playground.
Whoa, did you do them?
I did try it. Yeah, well, we all did. And there's only one kid that knew what it was because his older brother chewed him. Or I don't know if you call it chewing him, but he used them.
The bandits.
Do they still sell those?
Yeah, I think so.
Do they?
I don't know. They never grabbed me. I tried them when we were young. Never grabbed me the way the real thing does, but, everyone's got their own thing.
God is now smiting shoplifters, at least in Arizona. On Friday morning, just after 8 a.m., Glendale police responded to a strange scene in a Home Depot parking lot. A 40-year-old man, reportedly involved in a theft inside the store, collapsed from a medical emergency, which is some real Old Testament stuff because he died. According to police, by the time officers arrived, he'd already been pulled from a vehicle by the getaway driver and a Good Samaritan trying to help. But when Glendale Fire got to the scene, it was too late. He was pronounced dead right there in the parking lot. Investigators later uncovered the suspect had been shoplifting inside the store before his untimely encounter with eternity. Meanwhile, the driver fled the scene faster than you can say "thou shalt not steal." While perhaps not divine retribution for pinching a power drill, authorities did say they don't suspect any foul play.
What the hell killed him?
I don't know. They haven't said yet.
Maybe the stress from shoplifting?
Right, yeah. He's only like 40.
Yeah.
Weird.
Maybe he was on something. Those mushrooms we've been talking about.
Could be.
A screening of the new Final Destination movie took a terrifying and ironic turn when the theater's roof collapsed mid-show, eerily echoing the exact kind of freak accidents the franchise is known for.
Death doesn't like to be cheated.
Excuse me? What's that supposed to mean?
You all just be careful now.
The incident happened May 19th during a showing of Final Destination Bloodlines at Cinema Ocho in Argentina. Midway through the film, part of the ceiling suddenly gave way, crashing down onto the audience below.
Dude.
I'd be so scared. That'd be so fun.
You think, wow, this is really an immersive experience. Now in its 6th installment, the Final Destination series revolves around people who cheat death only to be hunted down by fate in increasingly bizarre and gruesome ways. The truth is, we hadn't even planned to go into the movies, one woman told local reporters. She said it was my birthday. We were just out walking and decided to pop in. Everything was fine, she said, until a loud crash shook the theater. At first, we thought it was part of the movie. We were so into it. Then we realized the ceiling was actually falling. She was hit on the shoulder, back, knee, and ankle, but narrowly avoided more serious injury. If I hadn't been leaning on the armrest, it probably would have hit my head and killed me, she said. Photos and videos spread on social media showing a gaping hole in the theater ceiling and then chunks of debris littering the floor. Attendees speculated that recent heavy rains may have weakened the roof, leading to the collapse. Fortunately, no fatalities have been reported yet. But if Final Destination's curse holds true, those ticket holders should avoid tanning beds, log trucks, and anything involving kitchenware for the foreseeable future.
Oh my gosh, I would lose my mind.
Creepy guy.
The real-life Annabelle doll, the inspiration behind the character in the Conjuring films, is being blamed for a string of eerie events.
Oh, enough with this friggin' doll.
Oh, I'm telling you, there's something going on here.
I hate this doll.
It was in New Orleans. Conspiracy theorists insist that she broke free from containment or someone took her.
Unfounded rumors that the infamous Annabelle doll went missing from its display case, usually secured by crosses and holy water.
I personally think that she did go missing. I personally think that she was stolen.
He was very excited.
Settle down, dude.
My God. Coinciding with Annabelle's visit. I'm auditioning to make it a viral video. Coinciding with Annabelle's visit were two unsettling incidents. A massive fire that destroyed a historic plantation house May 15th.
Sure.
Followed by a jailbreak the very next day in which 10 inmates escaped from the Orleans Justice Center.
And they're linking that up to the doll somehow?
Yes.
All right.
The strange timing led to speculation online the evil doll had supernatural connections to those events and was somehow behind it. Annabelle has long been part of American paranormal legend, once housed and studied by the Warrens. Tony Spera, Annabelle's current owner and the son-in-law of the famed paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren, quickly dismissed those rumors, though.
The New England Society for Psychic Research saying the doll had not been stolen and was on display at the Warren Occult Museum in Connecticut.
Annabelle's not missing.
The fact of the matter is that doll was never out of our sight, never out of our control. It's in a protective case that many precautions were taken to make it safe.
And it's a doll!
A haunted doll.
How did this rumor get started then?
Well, because the doll was there in New Orleans. It was a publicized event, and then all these things started to happen.
They're like, no.
He mentioned
right
there's
here.
precautions they take, and they do take it seriously. Those precautions include holy water, a protective case, and the presence of a Catholic priest that travels with the doll.
I need two priests.
Really?
I need two separate priests. Do you know what kind of separate priests I need?
Is there an age range?
Yes.
Like an old priest and a young priest?
And a young priest. The power of Christ compels you.
That didn't stop conspiracy theories from gaining traction on TikTok and Instagram. They didn't believe that the doll never escaped.
There's no way a priest travels with this doll.
I'm sure it's like, it's a bit, right? Or maybe they actually
This
believe
is
it. I don't
all
know.
a bit. From start to finish, it's a friggin' bit.
I bet there's a new Annabelle movie coming out soon.
I think you're right.
Well, I've seen a couple of those movies. Those are some piss poor movies.
Oh, I love them.
I saw The Conjuring.
Absolutely awful.
And that was it. As eerie tales swirl around Annabelle's visit, here's a fact about another paranormal icon. The word Ouija is trademarked by the game company Hasbro. Did you know that?
I didn't know a damn thing about that.
Did you care?
Not at all.
Damn. I should have seen this coming.
Not even a little bit.
Michael B. Jordan's Sinners, the very well-reviewed horror film with 97% Rotten Tomato score and an equally impressive 96% rating on the popcorn meter, is available on demand starting today. You saw it and loved it?
I absolutely loved it.
Yeah. And is it a vampire movie? I know it's a monster movie of some sort. Yeah, I want to see that.
It is so good. Absolutely worth going to see it.
I've yet to hear anybody say anything bad about it.
Yeah, but now, I guess you don't need to go see it now. You can just get it on demand. But I was not disappointed.
Will we need any priests to be on hand with us when we watch the
And if
movie?
so,
Might be a good idea, yeah.
Describe them.
Describe these priests.
You need an old one
Yeah.
and a young one.
The power of Christ compels you. It is God himself who commands you.
Congratulations to a buddy we're very proud of. All sack, no shaft Jesus, 110 days sober today.
Wow, nice.
Shout out to Russell and the graduating class of 2025 at St. Francis High School, as well as Katrina for moving on to her senior year from metal grinding to burring Jesus. Retired FedEx Jesus texted a shout out to his lovely wife, Sweetie Jesus, on their 3rd anniversary. And we announced it yesterday, the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show Booze Cruise 2025 edition, the Sinkening. Totally free for you and 3 friends to join us on the St. Croix Friday, June 27th on the Avalon at Stillwater River Boats.
They call it the Avalon.
The only way on board is to listen to 93X for your chance to win. Brought to you by Warner's Dock and Red Wing Shoes. And that's 93X News.
And now a Minnesota Twins update. We're talking Twins with former All-Star closer, Glenn Perkins.
Glenn Perkins.
On 93X. Play ball!
See if Buxton can't deliver.
Hard hit right side into right field, a base hit. Clemens scores. Here comes Ty heading home. The throw is up the line, and Buxton knocks in 2. And it's an 8-4 Twins lead.
We're joined at this time by a trio of tired effing people. All of them cooked from their charitable efforts yesterday at Randy Shaver's golf tournament. Randy Shaver, of course. Hello, Randy.
Good morning.
C. Willie Miles is in studio.
Good morning.
And so is Janelle Kleinberry.
Good morning.
Hi, Janelle. Hi, C. Willie Miles. Oh, my
What's
God.
happening?
How's everybody doing? You're a little tired, aren't you?
A little bit.
All right.
Janelle, if you're looking for a sidekick, you should make a cereal called the Janelle Kleinberries.
Kleinberries.
Yeah, that'd be tasty.
Hot day yesterday. We'll get to all that.
Oh, so hot.
Take a breather. All of you, I forgot, Ashley was out there too.
Yeah, I saw C. Willie, but he was talking to people that looked like they were a lot cooler than me, so I didn't want to interrupt.
Probably wealthier than you.
Yeah.
And we get
I
to
was
see you
looking
guys
for you.
2 times in 1
really
week.
darn.
Take a breather, all of you.
Dana was out there. Were you guys out there at the same time, Dana, you and Ash?
Yeah, Ash and I were riding around the car together.
For Christ's sake, Dana was there too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody was at this damn thing.
It was a party.
We're going to start off talking Twins baseball with Glenn Perkins. Hello, Glenn. Where are you at?
I'm right here in Minnesota, guys. Good morning to you all.
Good morning. Thanks for chatting with us again this week, Glenn. Yeah, everyone was out at Randy Shaver's deal yesterday. Hot day, golfing. I can't remember if we've had golf conversations with you, Glenn. Do you enjoy the game?
I do. I was actually supposed to be there yesterday, but I'm a notoriously bad schedule keeper, and so I had to bail last minute. It was my daughter's last day of school.
Oh, I did. I heard that story. Okay, last day of high school.
Yes, and so we had to give her a proper send-off.
Oh.
And so I had to miss the tournament. I was there a couple of years ago. I like golf. I used to golf a lot, and then as I've worked more, I've golfed less as the kids have gotten older, and their imminent departure has made me want to be home more. So I haven't golfed much in the last couple of years.
Is that an acceptable excuse, Randy Shaver, that he had to be there for his child's high school graduation?
Oh, of course. Of course.
You didn't get mad about that, but your wife probably got a little mad about that.
No, my wife, she doesn't know anything about the celebrity people that I invite to the thing. She doesn't care. She's got bigger fish to fry on that Monday than to worry about whether people can make it or not make it.
Of course, I'm just kidding around. So where does this leave you now, Glenn? How many do you have still in the house? You got one now heading out to college. Where do you sit now?
Yeah, we got one going to college in the fall, and then our other daughter is going to be a senior. So back-to-back years. We're figuring everything out and going to ship one off, and then I think we'll know what to do for the second one. But it's weird, man. I tell you what, like having kids and they're around, and I've been home a ton the last 8 years. Being around it's going to be tough, but it's all part of it. So. Yeah. Kind of wish we had a little bit more time, but I think everybody says that when their kids are getting ready to leave the house.
Oh, not everybody.
Not really. No, I'm going to disagree with you there, Glenn.
Well, maybe I'm lucky then.
Yeah, you are.
I know some folks who are just
different. They're
counting the friggin' minutes to where they can broom these morons out of their house and live the life that they always wanted. So you and your wife, you haven't sat down and planned all the wonderful things you can do once you're empty nesters?
No, I think we will once we get over the shock of not having kids in the house. I think our younger daughter is going to play hockey in college, so we'll end up following her around. Mm-hmm. Our older daughter is going to college in San Diego, so I know that we will spend some time out there, especially in the winters. That'll be a good place to hang out.
Mm-hmm. Randy Shaver, when your boys were both out the house, you and your wife, you partied your ass off at that point, right?
It was a parade.
Yeah. You're very excited about it. See Willie Miles
But the difference was that I had one out of the house, and then it took another 3 years to get the other one out of the house because they were 3 years apart. So, I had them in college at the same time for about 2 years. But in Glenn's case, it's like boom, boom. One's gone, the next one's gone the next year. I mean, that happens. That's hard because I'm sure that his kids are are close because they're close in age, and it's going to be. It just makes it more. I think it makes it more difficult when the kids leave 1 year after the other because you just get over the shock of one going, and then you got to brace yourself for the next one, and there's no time to think about it.
I get it. Sure. Well, there you go. Must have been fun yesterday, Glenn, having a kid graduate high school. Must have been a fun day.
Yeah, bittersweet. You know, and her graduation's on Thursday. It was yesterday. Just like knowing that it was going to be the last day that she. I mean, we've been getting up with her for her to go to school for 18 years, and I guess for 13 years or 14 years, whatever it is. But you get into that routine, and I've always been home in the winter, so I've basically been there. Even when I played, I was there when they went to school. Right. Our season was over, so it was part of my routine was getting up, getting them ready for school, making sure they got there until they could drive. One of us would bring them to school, so kind of all of those things come to an end. And I honestly, I tried to bring her to school yesterday. I offered to drive her to school.
Dad,
a high school senior girl did not want to school.
Did you get a little emotional, Glenn?
I did. I stood at the end of the driveway and watched her drive away. It was a lot like the first day when she got her driver's license and she left the house in her own car. I was like, this is crazy. And then yesterday it was, I mean, this is the last time that she'll drive herself to school, and it's another one of those milestones, I guess, of her growing up. But
we're here for you, Glenn.
Like it.
Oh, you're going to make me cry.
We're here for you.
I didn't like it.
I
to be honest with you, I don't like it at all. But
I love it.
Everything's going to be okay, Glenn.
It's not about me.
You're so fragile today, Glenn.
I found that out in real time when she turned down the ride to school.
He's a vulnerable, fragile guy this morning, and we understand. We understand. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a funny story. A few years ago, we had kind of an impromptu class reunion, just one of these Facebook things, 10, 12, 15, 20 of my classmates agreed to meet at a bar in my hometown of Wayzata, Minnesota, Glenn Perkins. Be jealous. All right?
That's a silver spoon right there.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right. It's big and it's fat. And it was sticking out of my yap the day I was born. So we had this little impromptu get-together, and I'm talking. Guess who I got on the phone with, Dana?
Who'd you get on the phone with?
I got on the telephone with Wang.
Oh, Wang.
My old classmate Wang and I are on the telephone, right, talking about going to this little impromptu class reunion. And I said, tell you what, Wang, you drive over to my house, because I still live in the general area. You drive over to my house. We'll take a cab down to the party so we can both get full of beer, and we'll take a cab back to my house, right? And Wang, being the clueless sumbitch that he is, he says, well, if we don't want to take a cab, remember, this is 4 or 5 years, I'm 53 years old. This is 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Wang says, if we don't want to take a cab, my mom could probably give us a ride down to the...
Oh, that's nice.
Was it the same in high school? Was that all the same in high school?
I feel like at that age, that's actually kind of cool.
I love it.
No, yeah. Glenn.
It's not?
No. So Wang says, my mom can pick us up at your house and give us a ride down to the bar for the party. And I said, Wang, the two of us are a combined age of 91 years old or whatever at this point. We are not going to be seen being dropped off by your elderly mother at the friggin' party.
She hands you each a $5 bill. Have fun, boys.
I think that would be an amazing entrance.
I love it.
Is that Wang's mom?
Invite her in.
Oh, you want to know the funniest part? Wang did get his mother to drop him off at my house.
Oh, no.
Right? And Glenn, I'm sure you're not aware of this, but everyone else on the program is. I have a twin brother named Steve. So Wang's broken old mother, drives up my driveway with Wang in the passenger seat, right? And, and he gets out the car and she rolls down the window and I wave to her. I haven't seen her since we were in high school. And she says this, "Hi, Steve." Well, no, you got the wrong brother, but hello, Mrs. Wang.
Glad you're driving.
Yeah, maybe.
In her eyes, you guys are still 18.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
a
my God.
freaking nightmare.
Hilarious.
The Twins started their 4-game series against the Athletics with a win late last night, 10-4. Byron Buxton matched his career high with 5 RBI in the game. They had 14 total hits. They crushed the Athletics, who have lost 18 of their last 19 games.
What a boost he provides. They've always been a better team. This is going on, 10 years now, 8, 9, 10 years, where they've always been a better team when he's in the lineup. He's got that, charisma that raises everybody else up.
I agree. It's always been that way with Byron. I agree.
There's just very few guys come along that are like him, they don't even have to do anything other than just be present, and they raise the level of play among everybody else.
Cubby's one of those guys.
And then couple that with the fact that outside of when he was hurt, he's been unbelievable this year, and on the field every day. They needed him. They needed some offense, and I think they're in the right place. And I tell you what, this road trip, Tampa, Seattle, Sacramento, all over the place. They're in a crappy stadium right now in a new city. But they're going to come out of this road trip probably winning more games than they lose.
I mean, they deserved a better fate in Seattle. We talked yesterday. They deserved a better fate from that series.
Yeah. Maybe they did. They had to rally late. They had to rally late just to keep that, to stay alive. But Seattle's a good team. I mean, I think they're going to be a playoff contender at the end of the season, too. So that's a tough road trip. Tampa's always tough to play. They had to play outside, and it's 90 degrees every day and hot. And then obviously that flight and the time change. And so to be able to recover from that. But I tell you what, if they can come out of this road trip ahead, above water, that's pretty dang impressive and sets themselves up well for the homestand where they've got two teams that aren't playing well.
There you go. Pablo, they still got 3 games to go with the Athletics. Pablo Lopez starts tonight. The Athletics have not announced a scheduled starter. What if they called you, Glenn?
If the Athletics called me?
Yeah.
I'm busy.
They've got that speed gun at the Saints game, Glenn. What do you think you could hit these days?
One shot, no warm up.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with 80, and
nice.
I would crumple to the ground immediately in pain.
So your hope is just that your arm doesn't come off with the ball. Your arm is just flying with the baseball, detached from the shoulder.
It would. That's what it would feel like. It would feel like my arm detached at my shoulder. Yes.
Oh man! And here's the other news, at least from the last few days concerning the Twins, is that with Matt Wallner being back, everybody, I mean, how did they put it in this article from Yahoo? Everyone who they entered the season planning on relying upon is now healthy.
Yeah, it took him a while.
Yeah.
And Wally announced his impact immediately in Seattle.
Hitting a home run. First pitch he saw, yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. They need to get Royce Lewis going.
Where's he at right now? 0 for what?
She's in the 20s.
28, 29, oh my God.
Yeah, and that was he had an 0 for 30-something this year already, too. He's got to find his swing. He had a good spring training until he got hurt, but that's been him, is play well, get hurt. And usually he comes back and plays well, but they start to mount up. And I don't know what they're going to end up doing with him. But they're in a tough spot with him because Brooks Lee is playing really well, and I know they like him at third base. And so it's not like they have to have Royce's bat in the lineup. I think they preferably would like to have him hitting and have him in the lineup, but he's going to continue to, I think, to lose some playing time here, especially in the short term. So it's going to be interesting to see what they end up doing with him and how they maneuver this, because I know Rocco loves Brooks and they want him in the lineup. They love his love in the field. Mm-hmm. And so it's putting Royce in a tough spot, but ultimately he needs to start swinging the bat better, and he's going to have to hit his way into the lineup.
All right, I don't know what motivated a website called ClutchPoints.com to bust out their version of the 10 greatest Minnesota Twins players of all time. But they did a day or two ago. ClutchPoints.com pumped out the 10 greatest Minnesota Twin players of all time. They ranked them from 10 to 1. And it goes like this. And, of course, feel free to jump in and argue one player should be ranked higher than the other or wherever you want to go with it. Number 10 is Brad Radke, who I was a massive fan of. Brad Radke. If you watch the Twins during his era, what can you say about the guy? He was the link that held that pitching staff together forever. So I love to see.
There was a time he was the only watchable guy on the team.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Most of my high school life, it was Brad Radke.
I love to see him in the top 10. I do. Another player that might surprise you, maybe this is the only real surprise on the list, in my opinion, but I love to see him in this top 10. The 9th greatest Twin of all time, according to ClutchPoints.com, is Chuck Knobloch.
No.
Randy Shaver says no. Why do you say no?
Because there's been let's hear the rest of the list.
Okay.
But I have to believe that somewhere in the 60s, 70s, there's got to be a player that deserves to be in there.
Well, I have one in mind. In mind from the 90s that might take Chuck's place on this. I love.
And no offense to Chuck. He's a very good player.
Oh, he was a terrific player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was a very good player. But I'll hear the rest of the list, and then maybe I can.
8 is Johan Santana, who was absolutely dynamite, of course.
Yes. Yes.
7 is Kent Herbeck.
Yep.
6, Tony Oliva.
Yep.
5.
And how he's 6 is amazing.
5, Joe Mauer.
Yep.
We go to number 4 on the list of all-time great Twins from ClutchPoints.com. They go to Bert Blyleven for number 4.
Sure.
3 is Turkey Bucket.
Yep.
And the 2 are very obvious to anyone who follows the Twins. 2 is Harmon
and Rod.
Carew, and number 1 is Rod Carew.
Right.
So, Glenn Perkins, what do you have to say about? Do you have anything to say about Chuck Knobloch specifically being in that top?
I would put Torrey Hunter in there.
That's what I was thinking.
I think Nobby. He was really good. He was really, really good. He wasn't a Twin for that long. When did he get traded?
8 years.
Late 90s?
Yeah. 7 years with the Twins. He was traded in, I'd say, 97 was when he was traded.
And then he became.
So in 91, he was a rookie.
Yes, Rookie of the Year in 1991.
So somewhat short career with the Twins. The one that I have beef with, and it's going to bug me for the rest of my life, is Johan Santana. He won 2 Cy Youngs. He should have won the Cy Young in 2005, but Bartolo Colon won like 5 more games than him, which has nothing to do with how well a pitcher pitches. If Johan Santana would have won the 2005 Cy Young, he would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
He would have won 3 straight Cy Youngs.
Yep.
He would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is criminally underrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I would put Nobby. I would put Johan. He's the best pitcher in Twins history.
He is.
And that to me just odd. And because that's not like by default.
Mm-hmm.
He belongs in the top 4, top 5 for sure. For me. And he was a shorter career guy, too, but his peak was so high.
Yeah, it was.
And he was so good. He was the best pitcher in baseball for 3 straight years.
He was absolutely
and was
terrific.
really good in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
and so you could make the argument he was the best pitcher in baseball for 4 straight years, which is a Hall of Famer, for one. And number 2 is a guy, for me, that should be higher on the list.
Okay.
But in the Twins history, the 5 guys that we mentioned are all in the Hall of Fame.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think Johan should be a Hall of Famer.
Well, I do too. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but in the list that we just put out there, those first 5 guys, and to be quite honest, you could flip that list all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're all pretty interchangeable. You're right. Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe Rod and Harmon separated themselves.
Yeah.
So we all agree maybe Chuck, new kid on the Knobloch, gets bumped for Torrey Hunter. I'll go.
I like that.
I'll go along with that.
I'll make that scratch.
I would do that.
I loved Chuck, though. I love both those players. Glenn, go get out the old photo album. Cry your eyes out today, man.
I will.
Listening to Dust in the Wind on repeat.
Yeah. Yep.
Rod Stewart, Forever Young. We always appreciate
you guys are killing me right now.
We always appreciate you joining us, Glenn, of course, but especially on it. Yesterday was a big day in your life, and we appreciate you sharing all that with us.
Yeah.
You want to talk about any pets that died when you were a kid or anything?
Didn't have
You
any.
had to have seen that coming.
Didn't have any.
What do you mean you didn't have any pets?
We didn't have any pets. We were never home. We were always traveling. We were always doing other things. I had baseball, so we were not a pet family growing up.
You got one now, right? Don't you have a Labradoodle or something?
We got a dog, yeah. We do.
Oh, my God. Well, next time you're on,
I tell him to go play in the street every day.
Stealing a line from my dad now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
My dad used to always tell the dogs to go play out on Highway 101.
Yeah.
Thank you, Glenn. We'll talk to you next week, man.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Cool, man. That's a fun person right there, Glenn Perkins. And our chats with Glenn are always brought to you by Xfinity. Stream sports from best seats in the house with Xfinity. Randy Shaver, how you feeling today, man, after every damn thing?
Well, I'm a little sad that we got rained out about 5:30 yesterday because of the storm that came through and cut everything short in the afternoon. I feel bad for the guys that were playing in the afternoon because everybody's having a great time.
Yeah.
And it's just too bad that happened. Obviously, there's nothing we can do about that, and I think everybody was pretty good about it. To be honest with you, I left the golf course. I came home, took a shower, went to bed. I was in bed by 7:30. I was exhausted, and
I'm sure.
I think I'm an old guy, so I was up a couple of times, but I didn't hear my wife come home.
Hard on, woke him up.
Nice.
And,
to pee.
And my alarm went off this morning, and it was like, oh wow, I never got out of bed for almost 12 hours. So
Yeah, you had that coming.
I actually feel pretty good this morning that I got the rest I needed. But
it was a hot day yesterday.
Thanks to Dana, thanks to Ashley, thanks to C. Willie, thanks to Janelle for coming out to the golf course yesterday and being a part of it. It was a great day. So many good people. I don't even know where to start because from Joe Mauer to all the folks that came out and played golf yesterday, I didn't have one, and Glenn let me know previous to Monday, but I think I only had one celebrity have to back out at the last minute because of a work issue.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, everybody showed up. It was amazing. So I can't think of the last time I had this golf event where everybody was there. It was great. It was fun.
It's such a joyous event, too. That's one of my favorite parts, is just seeing how happy and excited everybody is, going around, hitting each hole, playing the games, getting burgers. Just a very fun, cool event, and we appreciate you thanked us. Well, thank you for letting us be a part of it, Randy.
Well, it's you know what? It has built itself into something that I don't think Roseanne and I ever thought would be at the level that it's at. Between the gala on Sunday night that we really enjoy, to all of our friends who come out with their whole sponsorships and the food and the commitment that's out there. I mean, really, if you're a first-time person, I had some first-time people come out yesterday. They were just like unbelievable. Every hole there's like food. Every hole there's like, I mean, that takes a lot of effort to do that. And then we had Zasha pizza out there yesterday.
Oh, that pizza's the best, Randy. I got so excited when I saw that trailer out there.
Dana, it's the first time that they've done this. They came out yesterday, and the guy who did this, he was like, "Oh my God, we're coming back. We'll be here next year." So it's
A great event.
Getting bigger and better.
Who wants to speak first about their golf game? C. Willie played, Janelle played, Ashley played. Who wants to speak up first about their game? Janelle?
I did good.
Yeah, I want to speak about Ashley's game. She's out there, 6 months pregnant? And
a little more than that.
A little bit more than that, and she was just gripping and ripping. They used a lot of her drives. The foursomes she was in, the 5-6 she was in. She did amazing. It was incredible.
It was cool.
You pleased with your game, Ashley?
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Besides the fact that it was just ridiculously hot.
It was hot
for a pregnant woman.
Did you have to pick up your shirt and expose your belly and kind of just?
No, I would never do that. I was wearing a bodysuit, so I didn't have the choice.
I didn't have to, but I did.
Did you get your belly out, C. Willie, just to get?
No. I had a great round yesterday. I played with some great guys from Warner Stallion, and they had a big banger and so I could just swing loose.
Okay.
I didn't have to be the one to put my ball in the fairway.
Sure.
We had a guy that could just pound it.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a good time.
Janelle Klein, we want to talk about your golf game?
Not really.
Why don't
you looked cute? That's half the
she
battle.
Always does, man. I'd pick her on my squad anytime. As soon as she walks to the course, man, it's like, yeah, she's on my squad. I know she's got game.
So I walked out there yesterday on the 9th green, and it was probably, I don't know, Janelle, maybe 15 minutes before we had to pull everybody off the course, right?
Yep.
So
you were out there when the storm hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so I see Janelle at the 9th, and I walk down to the green, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, you missed it! You missed it, Janelle. She was unbelievable." It's like, what? What's everybody talking about?
Janelle Klein?
What did you do, Janelle? What did you do?
What did you do, Janelle?
I don't know. Well, okay, first of all, we had a guy on our team also who was, I think he's a scratch golfer. He was unbelievable. He played, I think, semi-professionally, he said. So, I mean, when you have someone like that, there's really not a lot of pressure. So I was riding around with Ron Shera, who's an absolute riot.
Awesome. Yeah.
He is so fun and so funny. He's smoking cigars. He has a golf club in one hand and a cigar in the other. It was hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, we just had a lot of fun. It was great.
So you don't want to tell us what was this thing you did?
Why? It was nothing. It was nothing. I mean, it was
huge.
You had like an eagle putt. Tell the story.
You had a very impressive putt.
Tell us.
You're so humble, Janelle. Just take credit for something good.
It was dumb luck. I walked up and smacked the ball and it went in.
Well, that's great.
That's pretty much golf.
That's what you try to do.
That's awesome.
There was no skill.
Yeah.
There was zero skill.
Okay,
Good job, Janelle.
Let me fill in the blank here. So Janelle was with this group, and apparently she had to do some work or do some things, and she gets reconnected with the group. They have a 40-foot plus putt they have to make for birdie, and Janelle steps up and makes the putt.
Awesome. That's an incredible putt. Why are you acting like you made like a 1 foot putt?
Right.
What?
She's embarrassed by all this.
Janelle, that's incrable. Good job, dude.
I'm not sure if you understand that even in the PGA, a 40-foot putt is just luck.
Gosh, those greens are tough.
Right.
Good for you, Janelle.
I mean,
nice work. She doesn't want to talk about it anymore.
Right.
I'm proud of you.
She doesn't want to talk about
You're
it.
awesome.
She's embarrassed.
We need to get her a trophy or something.
Yeah.
Randy Shaver, I know we gave out some of this information yesterday, but if you don't mind doing it again, I got a text message here from retired FedEx Jesus who says, Dear Randy, Half-Ass Morning Show, I'd like to know how to volunteer for Randy's events next year. I'm a cancer survivor, and I would really like to help out. You guys are the best. So for retired FedEx Jesus and anyone else who's interested, where should they go?
Well, on our website, if you go to randyshavercancerfund.org, if you navigate the website, and it's pretty easy, there's a place where you can, for volunteers, to connect with us. And that's what I would suggest you do if you're interested in doing it. We have a lot of volunteers that have done this very same thing, where they go to our website and they contact our volunteer person. Obviously, we're a year away from the event, but we do have other ancillary events throughout the year that maybe fit into your schedule better than the golf. But the golf is the big one. So that's what I would suggest that you do. And obviously now there's plenty of time to sign yourself up or to get involved.
There you go.
We're not going to start thinking about planning the golf event for, I'm sure, another month or two.
Yeah, the 2026 golf event's right around the corner.
It is. We've got a big pickleball event coming up with Pints and Paddles in October.
Sure.
So there might be opportunities for people to get involved there too. So.
And someone else texted and said, "What was the pizza place you guys were all wetting yourselves over?"
Is it Jaja? Did I say that right?
Yeah, OG Zaza.
OG Zaza.
Yeah, they have a location in Stillwater, Roseville, and they got a couple of food trucks. It's absolutely fantastic pizza.
Yes, Randy.
Nick, you've never had pizza like this. Dana, am I right?
Oh, you're so right. It is fantastic.
I like a lot of different brands of pizza. So.
Fantastic.
All right,
You can't go wrong with pizza.
I'll have to give it a shot. If you sound very adamant about this.
Fantastic.
One of their menu items is the big ass breadstick.
I want a big ass breadstick.
Me too. Hey, Randy, do you guys know how much you raised yesterday?
Yeah, I don't know the final number because of such a scramble last night because we had to shorten the golf up, and I think things kind of got a little crazy because we were trying to navigate how to finish the event. But I know that we made... On Sunday night, I know if we weren't at 100,000, we were pretty close to 100,000 in just the auction alone.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is a record for us. So I don't know what the total is. I'm going to guess we're somewhere in the 400, 450 range for the golf event. So that's normally kind of where we are. It may be more or less, depending on what the final numbers are, but. Somewhere in that range.
Yeah, half of that auction came to my wife. I needed 3 people to help carry it out the bags. I'm like, baby, what'd you bid? I thought you were losing on everything. She goes, yeah, but I went in and shut it down.
Nick, I got to ask you, your wife texted me at one point during the gala. She wasn't able to make it, unfortunately, saying some whore keeps outbidding me on something she was interested in. Did she end up winning?
She won something. She won a few things. She won. She was high bidder on a few things,
she
actually.
That's what my wife says. I won that.
Well, that's what they always say.
You're not winning.
They always say that.
You're outbidding.
She donated and was highest bidder on a few things, but yes, there was some confusion there where you thought maybe you were bidding against her.
Well, yeah, because
she was at home bidding with her phone.
She said, some whore keeps outbidding me.
Oh, yeah.
And she didn't say on what.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, no, a couple of things I'm bidding on I know she'd be interested in. So I thought I was that whore.
You thought you were the whore.
What was she bidding on?
You were not the whore.
I wasn't the whore.
She was bidding on some gift cards and things like that.
I just want to make sure because me and my fiance got outbid on the two things we were bidding on. So I wanted to make sure it wasn't her.
Please tell me one of them wasn't the pet portrait.
No.
Oh, thank God. I thought we might have beef. I would never upset you on purpose.
That would make sense for me, too.
Portrait.
To bid on something like that.
I got a new nickname for Janelle Klein.
Hello.
40 feet of Norwegian fury. in honor of her 40-foot putt yesterday, which will never be topped.
Ever.
Put a plaque on the wall at that friggin' country club.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, put a little stake in the green of where it was so people can take pictures next to it.
And maybe, Shaver, maybe you can go with the longest putt ever made at the golf tournament.
Put Janelle's picture up on the friggin' wall.
It might be there. It might be
40 feet of Norwegian rage.
Make it happen.
That's what was behind that swing. 40 feet of
a lot of angels.
You know, they have it marked in the pond where I went into the pond. They still mark that every year. Maybe we should put a plaque up at the green where Janelle made the putt.
There you go.
So that every year, every golfer in my event can pass by and go, "Oh my God, that Janelle Klein!
Janelle Klein
made the 40-foot putt."
One other detail she doesn't want to include because she's too modest. She was so excited she threw her putter in the lake, ripped her shirt like Hulk Hogan, and yelled, "Get some!"
That's awesome.
Here's a guy you know, Randy Shaver, because I know you've mentioned it on the radio. A guy by the name of Frank Ragnow. Terrific.
Yeah, he's retired.
terrific center for a number of years with the Detroit Lions, a local kid from somewheres. Is it Waconia? Chanhassen.
No, Chanhassen.
He's retiring from the game of football a little earlier than folks expected him to.
It's really funny because I interviewed Frank for my podcast, my high school football podcast last August. And Frank, it was right when training camp was about to start. And Frank said to me that it was the best he had felt going into training camp in like 5 years. You know, he just felt really good because he's been injury. He's had some pretty serious injuries along the way in football.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you know, this is the best I've ever felt. I hope this continues because I just know that my body is telling me that there's not much more I can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I read that this morning, I was like, oh my God, I mean, 7 years is a long time, especially at that position.
Right.
And he's so good, man. He's a Pro Bowl guy.
Oh, yeah, many times over.
It's a shame because I know how much he loves the game. I know how much he loves playing in Detroit. But to walk away from that's got to be such a difficult decision to make because he just loves the game so much. But when your body is telling you you can't do it, you can't do it.
A young kid, he's 29 years old.
Yeah. Frank was a great football player at Chan. He was an all-state football player. He decided to go to Arkansas to play college football.
Was he like the fish?
And he did that. And he's a big outdoors guy.
That's probably why he went to Arkansas.
Yep. He's a big outdoors guy.
Mm-hmm.
His dad passed away early in his football career. And so he's a great guy. He's a true Minnesota guy, though. He's all about family. He's all about, being here in the summertime, getting out on the lake. I mean, those are the things that Frank loves to do. So I'm happy for him that he can walk away.
Yeah.
He had a great career, but I'm sad for him, too, because I know how much he loves the game. And Detroit he really thought last year they would get to the Super Bowl.
That's too bad they didn't get there while he was on the club.
Yeah. I mean, so, yeah, I'm going to have to reach out to him today because he's been so generous with me. He always signs a jersey and that kind of stuff. He's done that for me for a few years for my auction. And he's a good man. I'll tell you, he's a good man.
Detroit Lions are going to miss him.
Yeah, they are.
Good
my
player.
Gosh. Imagine having to find a Pro Bowl center to take his place. I mean, that's a big void to fill, for sure.
I know C. Willie Miles is pumped tomorrow night, Stanley Cup Finals Game 1.
I know. I was talking with my crew yesterday when we was golfing. They told me, I said, it's still going?
You were always shocked to find out.
I thought it was over.
He always thinks it's over.
It's 90 degrees.
Yeah.
I know. It's summer. It's summer.
You might want to, everyone, you might want to look up the Stanley Pup competition going on.
No way.
You weren't aware of this, Ashley?
No, I was not.
It's a friendly competition featuring adorable, adoptable rescue dogs. I think this is the NHL's version of, what do they call that gimmick during the Super Bowl?
The Puppy Bowl.
Puppy Bowl.
All right.
I'm not fully understanding this, but it sounds like maybe they're going to put some of these rescue dogs on the ice and have them fight to the death or something?
That's the video they put out.
They're running around on the ice chasing tennis balls, and they'll
it's little hockey sticks, like milk-bone
death.
hockey sticks or something.
These dogs are absolutely adorable.
They'll keep score and whatnot. Is that what they're planning on doing, Josh?
I believe so.
So look for this during the Cup Finals. They're going to air it on this channel, and I guess I'm not going to look up the whole schedule
True
for you.
TV.
Go to True TV, find out when. But when the finals start tomorrow, so will this dog. So every club, including the Pigs, has a dog representing their team, and you can watch the show and make a phone call and try to adopt
Doesn't the Wild have a dog as part of their organization?
Yeah, they always do.
They've got every year they adopt a dog and they train it.
It's like a rescue dog, right?
Yes. They train it to help folks with PTSD, and I don't think it's the same dog.
I thought it was different every year.
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah.
This year, isn't it Rookie?
That sounds right.
Yep, Rookie's the dog this year.
Yep, and then after they're done with the dog, having the dog for the year, somebody that is usually a vet, they can adopt them. So it's nice.
All right, but these are separate dogs. You're not going to see Rookie out on the ice. It's a different dog, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep, it's just a puppy.
So that'll be, if you folks love those kind of gimmicky puppy bowls and whatnot.
The puppy bowl's been going on for like 25, 30 years. I'm surprised it's taken this long for another sports league to just copy the obvious idea of, hey, here are some cute dogs, tune in and watch them.
Right.
Yeah, get on that.
There's going to be special appearances by celebrity dog lovers. You want to hear some of the celebrities?
Yeah.
That you can, okay.
Well, I know there's a couple on this list you're a big fan of.
Oh, man. Paula Abdul.
Oh.
Hello.
Yeah. She used to sing about, don't tell me, she used to sing about, you're a cold-hearted snake, she said in one song, right, Janelle?
That's right.
You're a cold-hearted... straight up, she wanted to tell everyone straight up.
Now tell me.
Everybody's going to do this together, right, whatever. And she had some other songs. Paula Abdul will be there. Nikki Glaser?
Glaser.
Comedian.
Michael Bubble?
Bublé.
Michael Bublé.
Oh, my mom loves his music.
Mike Bubble.
She likes his Christmas CD.
Everybody's mom likes his Christmas CD.
Yep.
These are the celebrities who will make an appearance during the Stanley Pup competition. Hey, Josh.
Yes.
Wah-wah-wee-wah.
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's right, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, wow.
That's your girl.
George Lopez.
What? He's still around?
Wow.
Whoa.
I mean, I knew he was still alive, but...
Oh.
Like, he's still doing stuff?
Wow, this is the Stanley Cup Pup Bowl. This isn't exactly the halftime show.
It still surprises
Super Bowl,
me.
Ashley.
He just had a TV show.
They're celebrity dog lovers, Ashley. So don't go after George Lopez. He's looking to help out
George.
these three-legged dogs and whatnot. Sherry O'Terry rings a bell. I don't know who that is.
Saturday Night Live.
And now we get to the top two for me personally. I effing love Cedric the By God Entertainer. I do. You know the guy?
Yeah.
Have you toured with him?
Yeah.
You mentioned that before, haven't you? You toured with him. I think that dude is so friggin' funny and he comes off so pleasant and fun.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Super nice guy.
Yeah, he just has that radiating smile. It looks like he's always having fun.
Yes. I wish that Cedric Entertainer would get a podcast or something. What am I saying? I don't care about podcasts. I wish he would get a halftime show at the Super Bowl. And then finally, the main event, of course, Tim Allen.
No.
I mean, from your favorite show.
It was called, not that show.
No, it's one that you did commercials for.
There was the other show that I pretended to like on commercials.
First Guy Sitting, I think it is.
No.
Fa la 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 la.
Bamba. Last Man Standing.
Last Man Standing. There you go. All right. Cute dogs running around on the ice. By damn. The Pigs went ahead and signed Marcus Johansson to a one-year contract. See, Willie wanted to make sure I mentioned that. They're trying to be mindful of their money now if they want to re-sign Ryan Suter, too. So this was
Wow.
a one-year deal for Marcus Johansson. And before we go real quick, this is probably old news because we had a week off. We missed the Indianapolis 500. Not that I ever pay. When I was a kid, I would watch the Indianapolis.
Oh, when I was a kid, we used to pay attention to that.
Absolutely. But I haven't watched the in decades. So
me neither.
A guy by the name of Connor Daly, did he win the race? Doesn't matter. An IndyCar driver by the name of Connor Daly has signed a deal to endorse Depends adult diapers after he peed in his pants at the Indianapolis 500.
Well, what's he supposed to do?
Right.
Way to pull over.
You see, the thing is, I thought that was relatively normal.
Yeah, I thought they all did. at some point.
to pee or even make a number 2 into your fire suit while racing a car.
Maybe because he mentioned it, that's kind of becoming a thing.
But he said this was the first time in his career that he urinated in his race car.
Right.
And he had to cut one before the race even started. He had to go so bad just sitting on the starting grid that he filled his suit with urine, and then Depends found out about it, and now they will be sponsoring his race car. And that costs a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
The Depends people have that kind of friggin' money?
Oh, I think
Is that all it takes to get a sponsorship?
Well,
Some of those
Randy,
guys,
you gotta be doing something else too.
Because, wow.
Yeah, someday you'll get a sponsorship.
Yeah, every one of my buddies in their 20s would have had one of these sponsorships.
Easy to me.
What'd you say, Randy?
I said that sounds pretty easy to me.
Did you guys see the video where he was presented with, hey, this is going to be your new endorsement? He didn't seem super excited about it. They brought out a big bin. They're like, hey, open this thing. And he thought, oh, I'm going to be pranked. And he saw the diapers, and he's like, oh, all right.
So he
Didn't seem
doesn't
too excited
he doesn't
about it.
appreciate their support.
I don't know if he didn't like it. He just didn't seem very excited.
Maybe he doesn't want to be
He might, the pee guy.
the rest of his career. He's the pee guy.
Well, just lean into it and have fun.
Yeah, we got you this lucrative endorsement. Oh, what is it? Best Buy? Target?
Yeah, right.
No, it depends undergarments.
Depends.
It's like Mark Martin, NASCAR driver, and he drove till he was an older man. And towards the end of his career, his number one sponsor was Viagra. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he appreciated that or
I think
not.
he leaned into it a little bit.
Maybe he leaned. I don't know.
I haven't watched racing since Al Unser.
That was back when I was, that's when I watched it too.
That's when racing was racing.
Mario Andretti and Al Unser. And Al Unser Jr. and this and that.
What did do? Jesus said, I pissed the bed last night from being too drunk. Where's my sponsor?
Yeah, right.
Give him some money.
Can I tell you my Depends story again? I was walking around Target many years ago, and I don't know what I was looking for, but I cut down the old folks aisle where they have the adult diapers and other terrible products like that none of us want to wear, but eventually we all will. And I cut down the old folks aisle, and there was a couple standing there, and they were sorting through the different type of Depends diapers. And they were a combined age of about 1,000. They were just the oldest couple in town. And as I walked, I realized, I'm in the wrong aisle, but I'm not going to turn around abruptly. I'll just keep walking. And as I walked behind them, I heard.
Little crop dusting going on there.
And I thought, let's get these sumbitches to the gate here as quickly as possible. It was the dude, too, because the wife kind of looked at him and, you son of a bitch.
Really? Yeah. Right here in the aisle.
Just let it go. Just let it flow out.
Oh, man.
You going to go back to bed now, Randy?
No, I'm
He's not even out of bed.
pretty good.
After 12 hours of sleep, you feel pretty good?
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, nice work on everything, and thanks for having all of us,
Yeah,
I
thanks,
appreciate
Randy.
you guys. I appreciate you guys being a part of it. It does make a difference, and you guys have been a big part of what we're doing, and I appreciate it very much. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Remember the first 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, we didn't get along at all. We didn't care.
No, not at all.
We didn't care to get involved in each other's activities.
I didn't even know your name first fight.
We've had general managers here that didn't either. True story.
Right.
Which one's which?
They never knew. Oh, wait, are you Josh or Nick? Which one are you?
They couldn't spell anyone's name.
I thought it was really cool because our table was just a couple of tables over from you guys, and I just so happened to be sitting with Bremer and Schmidt. Mm-hmm. And I looked over, and you walked by.
Yeah.
I go, geez, like Nick, I've never really seen you guys outside of captivity.
Yeah, we get out sometimes.
And without hats on.
Right, yeah. I mean, I had to stare, and I'm
Nick was smiling.
I know. He looked happy.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday night. He looked happy.
I enjoy that event every year. And also, Medina Ballroom is a massive
I love it.
thing for me. I've loved that joint since I was a little kid. I always loved I ran into, of course, Mark Raskop at the event, and I mentioned that. I said, man, just walking into this ballroom always brings back great memories for me because I grew up at that friggin' place.
I came to concerts there many times when I moved.
Those guys, that family is amazing.
Yeah.
They have embraced what we do, and there's just no question that they're like Rush Creek, they're like Culver's, they're like Warner's. They're in, and they're in for the right reasons. And it makes all the difference in the world for a charity like what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I know those researchers, when they come to that event, they're so appreciative of, certainly what Roseanne does and that, but all the people that, when we list all the people that are involved, they're just blown away by, everybody's involvement and their support and why they're in it. They're in it because they understand what we're trying to do. So,
Exactly.
Yeah. The Raskow family is amazing. They really are.
Good people. You got good people helping you out. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Randy Shaver.
Sounds good.
We'll be back here in a flash with more C. Willie Miles and Janelle Klein.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
On 93X.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me, as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
The United States Soccer Federation presents the U.S. Soccer Podcast.
Inside the opening 45 seconds. What a goal! Jack McGlynn with that cannon of a left foot.
Never miss a game.
What a start for the United States.
Shot for distance. What a goal!
Never miss a moment.
Exquisite from the San Diegan. Can he finish? Yes, he can! Yeah!
The U.S. Soccer Podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Care 11's Janelle Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
C. Willie Miles and Janelle Klein are here joining us for the Tuesday edition of the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. That's correct, C. Willie. Whoop, whoop. And we're having a good time. We're getting her done. Where should we go? Where should we go next with this? We win this contest every year. America wins this contest every year. A study found that America swears more than any other country. And here we are, ironically enough, sitting with the two cleanest people we know, Josh.
Yeah, it is kind of ironic.
The two cleanest people we know. And
It's weird.
I'm impressed. I'm not trying to poke fun. I'm complimenting the both of you. It is very difficult to get a curse word out of C. Willie Miles or 40 feet of Norwegian heat. Janelle Klein.
Love it.
Very difficult to get a curse word out of either one. And if folks are, maybe there's one or two people saying, well, yeah, you're on the radio. No, I'm talking about off air,
right?
Drinking, carrying on, whatever setting it might be.
I've never heard C. Willie swear. I've heard Janelle a couple of times.
Yeah, a couple times.
Just a couple times.
So was that a big no-no in your household growing up using foul? It was.
Yeah. I would have gotten in big trouble for
Me
that.
too, but my dad had a free pass, that's for sure.
Oh, so did my dad.
Every other word was a swear.
Every other word, yes.
Yeah, same here. I actually remember the day on the school bus. I think I was in the 3rd grade, where the older kids forced me to swear.
Held you down?
Yeah, they were like genuinely upset and angry at me because I refused to do it. It just like wouldn't physically come out of my mouth.
Your folks were very strict about it as well.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't play into your adult life.
Definitely not, no.
But for C. Willie and Janelle Klein.
I cuss like crazy.
Yeah, me too.
Well, my son, he's the youngest by 9 years. His closest sibling is 9 years. So the older two kids would try and get him to swear at a very young age. Or
of course,
give the finger and stuff like that. So he learned a lot of dirty words, like almost as early as he could talk.
Yeah.
They were teaching him these things.
That's fun, though.
I had the same, growing up for me, our mother did not like it. And she would get a little pissed off. My dad, never said anything. And his buddies, kind of like Josh was explaining, his buddies growing up, they taught my brother and I things that we should not have known at a young age. So we were kind of rock stars on the playground because we knew how to use all these words fluently in sentences. And people, the other kids our age were like, what the? I don't even understand.
You were so cool.
I don't even understand what you just said. So do you remember any specific punishments? Did you get the bar of soap in the yap and all that when you would get Janelle and C. Willie?
No, man. I was pretty slick when I was a kid, man. And I because I had, and I've told the story a gazillion times. I had 9 older sisters to learn from. When you've got 9 older sisters, man, you look at them and you go, after the 4th girl, I mean, what wasn't you paying attention to? I'm not going to do that.
You were afraid to cross the line in any way.
In any way. Because I had enough, visual sense to see that there was just no, there was no way out that was going to be unpunishable.
If your parents didn't get you, they would.
Yeah.
Your sisters.
Yeah. But they tried them over and over and over. And I'm looking, I'm like, it's like crossing a moat and everybody gets eaten. And you still try to cross the moat. I was like, I'm not going to cross the moat. I'm just going to stay over here.
Was it Willie, you said your dad had a foul mouth.
Oh.
What about your mother? I bet she was clean as a whistle.
Yeah, no. Yeah. No, she never did. But she had those pork chops size hands. When you said something, man, you felt it.
You got a crack across the ass.
Yeah, you felt like it had a big bone in it when she hit you.
All of our mothers fairly clean?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
For the most part, yeah.
As she's gotten older, she lets the swear words come out a little bit more.
Yeah, my mom cusses a lot more now that I'm grown up, but when I was younger, she kept it pretty clean.
Yeah, you see, my mother growing up, I guess it depends on what you think of personally as a harsh curse word. My mother would dump GD and the S word, BS, things like that. But you never heard the F word.
Right.
You never heard some of the more harsh stuff. So where I'm going with this is, a number of years ago, my mother dumped the hardest curse word I'd ever heard her say out loud before. And it was still kind of shocking, even though at the time I was probably 40 years old, when my mother said cluster F.
Why did she know that word?
She referred to... Because she was married to my dad twice. She said the word cluster F out loud, and it kind of took my breath away. Because I wasn't...
Did she use it correctly?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, even used it right.
She knew, again, hanging out with my dad and his hillbilly friends, she knew all of the harshest stuff, but just didn't ever use it out loud.
I remember in 6th grade, because I never swore at home. Even as an adult, just didn't around my parents. My dad would kill me. I've eaten a lot of soap over the years, by words that weren't even bad words that my parents overheard from 2 floors up.
So he would dump that bar of soap gimmick on you?
Well, my mom would.
Your mom
My
would.
dad was just more yelling with swear words, ironically, telling me, if he overheard it. I never did in front of him, but they'd overhear. We were too dumb to realize we needed to talk quiet. But I remember in 6th grade with my friends, every other word was the F word. It was, instead of it was the F word. Everything was F and this, F and that. To the point where I worried I had a problem. I was swearing so much around these guys that I thought, I got to ease it back. And maybe that's why now I rarely do. And I've mentioned this before, but now that my older kids, it's really weird. They can come to our events. And especially if I have something to drink, they'll sit there and count. They'll count if there's F words that are coming out. All of a sudden, I'll hear a 3 from somewhere else because they're counting how many times.
You tried it frequent. You've always tried to keep it clean around the kids.
Around them especially, yeah.
Sure. Janelle, what about your setup? Both folks pretty clean people?
I've never heard either of my parents swear my entire life.
Really?
What? That's crazy to
What,
me.
did you grow up at Nadia?
Never once, either one of them.
No way.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Not even. What about close? Like
No.
Really?
No.
Like,
Wow,
that's
my
what the
children are
heck?
not going to be able to say that about me ever.
What about like a "God darn it" out of anger?
Maybe that.
Or like a what in the HE double hockey stick?
No, I don't even think I've heard that.
That's truly
Wow.
incredible.
I know.
And
Good for them.
No wonder it certainly rubbed off on you. I've heard you curse a couple times.
Yeah.
But it's never been anything terribly harsh.
Pretty rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's adorable, is what it is.
Yeah, it does sound adorable coming out of your mouth.
Because we know there's certain people that say it, and it's like they're punching you in the face or the stomach. But yeah, yours is not like that at all.
Yeah, let's remind people too. The harshest thing Janelle's ever said on the air is when she threatened violence by saying giving somebody a knuckle sandwich.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite moments in this show's history.
Chugged up plumber Jesus said, growing up, my mom was a bartender, my dad was a construction worker, I was dropping F-bombs in third grade.
Yeah, I bet. That is truly fascinating, Janelle.
Yeah, I'm amazed by that.
Your folks are still with us and still to this day.
I don't remember. I don't even know when I would have learned swear words. We never.
No relatives or anything?
What about your sister?
Nope.
My God, you went to college.
In Wisconsin.
I know.
Dude, that's wow.
Maybe that's where I learned about it.
I imagine when you went to high school, well, even grade school, junior high, there were kids who cursed up and down.
Yeah.
Does it affect you when you hear it? Like, do you think, oh, man, why would
No. It doesn't cross my mind to do it, really.
So even your classmates didn't inspire you to
Not
take it up personally?
Not really.
Wow.
Let's get Janelle's parents on the air for their first ever swear word.
Yeah,
It'll be worth the FCC fine. I don't care.
Do you think if you asked them, they would?
Oh, God, no.
No?
No, they wouldn't.
It's like a family party.
God,
Everyone's
no.
loosened up, and you say, Mom, just once I want to hear you dump the F-bomb.
Yeah. Oh,
One good MF-er, Mom.
I love when my mom cusses.
I've also never seen my parents drunk, so I don't think that would even work.
Wow.
Man,
That makes
you
more
wouldn't fit in
sense
with our
than the
families,
cussing.
Janelle.
I've never seen my parents drunk.
Yeah.
I've only seen
Yeah.
my mom actually drink like half a Bartles and James at a barbecue once every 5 years.
I think that's more normal.
Okay, well, see,
The
Willie,
drunk
you're not a
thing.
drinker. What about your folks?
Yeah, my dad was. My
Okay.
dad was a drinker. I've seen him toasted.
Okay.
My dad was a fun drunk, though. My
Okay.
dad was like, the more he drank, the funnier he got, And that's where I get a lot of my humor from, is my dad. My dad was hilarious. Gave everybody a nickname. That was my dad. My dad was the guy that gave you your nickname.
Well, what was your nickname?
When I was,
Did he give you a nickname also?
no, he would name his kids.
Oh.
Just all the neighborhood kids.
Oh, because I had nicknames.
Yeah.
I was Louie.
Yeah.
My dad called my brother and I Gus and Louie.
Gus and Louis.
Yeah.
Ask me about
Cute.
CrossFit Jesus. Text in Janelle the question for you. Of course, Janelle has never sworn, but how about Stephanie Luce? If you haven't heard the story, that's your alter ego.
I don't think so.
Stephanie Luce never has?
Probably not.
I just can't imagine. Janelle, I can't imagine telling that story. Never heard your parents or anyone in your family or your sister cuss.
Nobody has.
Yeah, I'm in disbelief. That's crazy to
And
me.
then, I guess the no drinking stuff comes into play. It's just
Yeah,
I mean,
that
they
was
mind-blowing.
They drink.
I mean, at home.
That. Like,
Well, I'm sorry. You've never seen him drunk.
Yeah, I've just never seen
Never
him drunk.
seen him drunk.
Right, yeah.
Care 11's Janelle Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
That's right. We got to get going again here very shortly. We've had a good time here on the program, and we'll be back tomorrow at, what time do we check in, Josh?
5:40.
5:40.
Per usual.
See, Willie Miles and Janelle Klein are here. We've been talking about our upbringing. We've been talking about our folks and how they brought us up. The conversation started by reading this fact, and we win this title every year. A new study found that Americans swear more than any other folks around the world. So we started talking about our upbringing and our folks. Did they swear? Did they drink? This and that. The most fascinating fact we learned was that Janelle Klein has never heard her parents or any member of her family swear once in her lifetime. That is absolutely gripping information. And
That is very surprising.
And you never saw your folks drunk.
Nope.
Not a year like.
So we've all had different upbringings, and that's what makes it so interesting. Couple text messages. Chris texted in to say, my parents rarely swore when I was growing up. To this day, I'm 52. I've only sworn in front of my parents once each. That's just the way we grew up, and it's not a bad thing at all. No, it's not a bad thing.
No.
No one ever said that.
Never swore in front of. I have yet. My dad's passed. Never swore in front of him. My mom, haven't sworn in front of her.
That's incredible.
I haven't either. I never did.
Me and my parents swear together.
I like some family bonding.
Yeah.
Like a dueling banjo swear off?
Yeah.
See, Willie, never once in front of you.
Not once.
Josh, never once.
Nope.
No.
Not even S, not even GD.
No. Well, no, I don't think so.
Wow.
I might have thrown out like a Jesus or something.
That is crazy.
Ooh, Jesus, that was a close call or something like that.
Here's a list.
Like I said, they've overheard it, but I would never on purpose.
That's just truly something, in my opinion. Here's a text message that came in. A listener says, I'm bilingual, English and swearing. Here's a listener who says, I just turned 38, and now that I think about it, I think I can count on one hand the times I've seen my dad sober.
Sorry to hear that. You guys know I'm a bit of the bad boy here on the program.
Yeah.
True story.
And I can prove that. We were starting to watch this show as a family. It's like for young adults. And there's so much swearing after the first couple episodes, like it's frustrating me. And I realized, why am I getting so worked up over this? But it's just so unnecessary and it's constant that it's kind of annoying. You know, it's different to me if it's just a part of it and it makes sense. It's actual conversations. But you can tell the writers are going, we're going to be real cool and throw in some swear words here.
Does it make you uncomfortable just simply to see young people swearing?
Yeah, that's part of it. It's just because it seems so forced.
Right.
And I think that's probably a big reason.
It makes me uncomfortable seeing young people swear. I've been going on walks lately, and there's a local park by my house that I've been going to. And there's like these 3 middle school kids that are always there, these girls, and they're always cussing up a storm. And I'm just like, oh, the disrespect to do that in public. And they're like around other, grown adults, like people in their 40s and 50s. And I never swore around adults like that when I was that age because I was taught not to.
Man. Right.
So it's so weird seeing that. It makes me uncomfortable.
I have a swear jar that I just got at my house because all the neighborhood boys come over to our house all the time, to the point where there's a particular bathroom they're allowed to use and my wife doesn't use it. She's disgusted by it, and I understand why. It's gross. They just can't aim for whatever reason. And there's always 5 or 6 boys in the yard or inside the house, and they cuss. And I've told them, there's little kids around here. There's families that don't necessarily want to hear it. You guys got to keep it down. And they can't figure it out, so I have a swear jar. And whoever swears the least throughout high school, they're going to get that for college. That's what I've decided.
Wow.
That's a great idea.
Right now, there's about $100,000.
Man.
That's hilarious.
I mentioned earlier that my dad was always wide open. Not that he was, a foul person overall. He could dial it back when he needed to. But my brother and I and my dad, we were very free to speak however we wanted to speak. My mother was much more careful about it as far as foul language goes. Hopefully you'll enjoy this little story. I don't know, 15 years ago, I was visiting my folks' place up north. I think it was Christmas Eve. Everyone else had gone to bed. My dad and I were still sitting at the kitchen table, ripping through cans of Budweiser and having a good time. And again, my dad wasn't a foul guy. He was never the worst in the bunch as far as foul language, but he did have one crutch. He did use the word CSer now and again, and he would use it in funny ways. Like he would say, hey, remember that old guy, Roger, that I used to drive truck with? Remember that old CSer, right? Or he would say things like, hey, grab me my fishing rod over there. Grab that CSer for me real quick. Okay. So my dad and I are sitting there just drinking beer and talking. We thought everyone else was asleep, and my dad had used the CS a few times during our conversation. And suddenly we hear my mother, who had come down the stairs. We did not know she was there. My mother comes down the stairs and says, excuse me. And we said, yeah? And she said, if I hear, this is how she put it, CS out loud one more time. I'm going to cut the power in the house, and you'll have to drink in the dark.
Whoa.
Wow.
She was done.
Yep, she was done hearing that from the upstairs. This is the same woman who threatened to call the police on my dad once for throwing a microwave in the garbage, and told him once that he should not be allowed to mow the lawn with his shirt off.
What?
Wow. Okay, that's okay.
I love her. That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Janelle and C. Willie.
Yeah,
Thanks, you guys.
always a pleasure.
Be careful breathing out there today.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's very thick,
It
they
is.
tell us. They got one of those air warnings out there.
It is something. On the way into work, it was very noticeable.
I feel so dumb. You guys have been talking about it, and I have not noticed.
And you go for walks every day.
Yeah.
Well,
Be careful out there.
Yeah, we have a tree that's about to fall over, and the tree crew was going to come over yesterday and, like put some ropes on it or whatever they were going to do.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they had to take a day off. One of the poor guys had a medical emergency, and they think it was kind of related to that. So if you work outdoors, I bet that's really rough.
Sprinkle a little Viagra on that tree to keep that thing from...
They got to figure something out.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Thanks
they do.
again, you guys. It's always awesome.
Thanks, you guys.
Happy birthday to Huxley, turning the big 08 today from Dad. Thanks again to C. Willie and Janelle, and a big thanks to you for being here for us today. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.